It's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vail. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
Show out, run your mouth, pop off at the mouth. I do something called an attack. When you do the attack, you got to make sure you're real rooted and grounded. Look that way. Make sure you're real rooted and grounded so they don't know what's about to go on. You just attack them. You just attack them up. What did I say? I said you better do what I said to do. Did they think you're crazy? If they think you're crazy, they'll just walk away slowly like that.
5, 6, 7, 8. Why you gotta lie so much? You must wake up and just make up stuff. Cause I just do not understand why every time you talk, you tell a quick lie. You and your lies gotta go. Because I'm tired of talking to Pinocchio. Then you had a nerve to look folks in the eyes, knowing that you telling them lies. You be telling them lies. I asked you about this. Then you lied about it. I asked you about that. Then you lied about it. Get them lies together, they all over the place. I bet if Jesus came back, you would lie to his face. Damn, Pinocchio. I guess you wanna see how far your nose can grow. I said, Pinocchio. I guess you wanna see how far your nose can grow. Now, boo! Let's go. Stop telling all them lies, number one. Let's go. Cause I don't believe that you say at this point. Cause all you do is lie, lie, lie. Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie.
What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me by typing in the chat, ask and you shall receive, or ask and receive, because we are here because our work today was commissioned by our very own Darius Crooks. Ask and you shall receive. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so y'all can hear me. There's a lot going on because I don't know what happened. We were on StreamYard. Everything was fine. I was doing some other stuff. I turned around, I look, and it says live ended on the screen. I'm like, what the hell? I ain't touched nothing. So then I had to add everything back into it, including the little clip you guys just saw, our little slideshow. But welcome, everyone. Please make sure to hit that like on your way in. We are streaming on both of our YouTube channels, our IAmVellB Reacts, as well as our Reality Chronicles channel. And what we're trying to do is move this content completely over to the Reality Chronicles channel. But it's a brand new channel, less than a month old. And there's twofold of what's happening there. For one, I'm trying to get the channel monetized before I really start putting content over there. Because if not, then my work is, I'm just producing videos and not making no money, and YouTube just making money off of it. We don't do that over here. That's one part of it. The other piece is that I'm trying to have my original channel stay kind of clean, so to speak. And I don't really want to talk about scammers and, predators and all of that over there. And so that's why we have the Reality Chronicles, because it is a channel for true crime, reality news, real life stories, all of that. And so make sure, if you have not yet subscribed to the Reality Chronicles channel, please do that, because eventually you'll be like, oh, he ain't talking about that stuff no more, and you'll be missing out because it'll be on the other channel. So but thank those of you who have subscribed already. We're 91, based on what I'm looking at right here. We're 91 people away from our 1,000 subscribers. Then we got to get up to our 4,000 watch hours. This live will help. We'll go live a few more times. So by mid-April or so, we should be monetized over there, and we'll be coming with some more content for sure. Also, just community guidelines, moderators, please don't. Thank you so much, Toya's. I'm sorry, I need my glasses. Toya's B, I think I saw some, but thank you so much. You said you subscribed. And moderators, please do not block anyone. It is important to me with this sort of information that I know that we'll have a lot of people who are triggered and in their feelings and all of that, because we're, when you start talking about people's messiah, leader, people they hold in high esteem and they put on unrealistic pedestals, they get in their feelings. So when you're exposing and telling the truth and showing receipts upon receipts, not just you, like the world, literally the world, they take offense. It becomes more personal for them. But it's a mental issue. It's a mental condition. And so I want to provide compassion, because again, over on our IAmVellB Reacts, we do commentary with compassion, and part of that compassion is those who are mentally challenged or have some sort of issues. We want to provide them with information that can hopefully help them heal one day. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might not be next year, might not be 10 years from now, but we want the information to be available to them. So please don't block. But if we want to be respectful and don't insult anyone in this community, and it's okay to disagree without being disrespectful. So if they can't do those things, it's fine to like delete comments and put them on timeout and all that, but please do not block. Other than that, and I don't even read the comments like that no more, so if y'all trying to offend me, good luck. I'll probably never see it. My moderators are amazing over here. They're so purpose driven. I love it. But anyway, so what did you guys think about our video premiere of season 1, episode 1 of Inventing Darius Crooks? What would you give it a score? 1 out of 10. What do you think? And in my opinion, I look at it like it was my way of, in a video, if a video could say anything, I think the video was saying, keep my name out your mouth. If keep my name out your mouth was a video, I think that was the video. And we got way more to come, way more to come. And also just a little warning, this is Aries season. And so my creativity and my shenanigans and petty have been running on 1,000. And y'all kind of saw a little bit of that from the video premiere. So, you know, I think Crooks was assuming because I was quiet, that meant that, I don't know, I had moved on or something. And I have, but it's part of my job. So it's like a project at work. I was still working. I don't have to broadcast my every move, as you guys see clearly. I mean, my digital files are now almost as organized as the Dewey Decimal System. So, and that's old school for y'all. For those of us who used to go to libraries as kids. So, never question the silence of an Aries. Never question the silence of an Aries. So what I want to do in this live is just kind of hang out with y'all, communicate, but also we're going to just do a deep dive, like director's cut review of the video, because I'm sure some of y'all are like me. When we see something interesting in a video, sometimes you might watch it again. So we're going to watch it, and I'm going to stop and start a ton and add things that I may have forgotten, or just give you some insight into what my mind was thinking at the time, or how we got where we got within the video. So this is like, you know, a director's cut. So let me pull it up, and I don't know what's happening with I'm streaming on 2 channels, so I'm hoping. Oh, first of all, let me pull it up over here because I got that playing down there. We good. Give me a second. Get my bearings. I swear that threw me off with our live just ending like it did, because I had a good flow going. Okay, I think this is the video. Yes, this is the video. Pause it. Then I'm gonna share it with y'all. Just share the window. That's the window. All right, there we go. Here we go. Now I'm hoping that you can hear it. Let me know if you can hear it when I start playing it. What I want it. We want it right here. Start this from the beginning. Thank you, Keisha, for being on both channels. I appreciate that. Anyone else who might have 2 devices and want to be on both, it's not against the rules. And it's very helpful for the growth of this channel. We've been growing like crazy, y'all. It's been good. Well, because I've been consistent. That's been our issue more than anything. My lack thereof of consistency. What was I gonna say? Oh, could y'all hear that? Oh, people saying they can't hear it. Let me try to play it again. Hold on. Give me a second. Now the settings should have been still the same because we had did this before. Hold on. Oh, I know what happened. I switched it from my built-in speaker. That's what happened. I gotta leave stuff alone. Here we go. Now we should be good. Let me know if y'all can hear that.
You are.
It's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
Okay, Keisha, you saying yep?
You gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people.
Okay, good. Y'all can hear us. Okay, so I'm starting at the very beginning one more time. And the reason is because, okay, that's good. This particular clip is interesting. So I see, as you see, because the D-hivers will think that I spend all day and night stalking Darius to get this stuff. There are many great people out there who are part of the coalition who grab these things, and I see these on other platforms. We have the Exposing Darius Crooks platform, Facebook group rather. Then you have basically Black Twitter, which is the hashtag Darius Crooks. I get a lot of stuff from there. There's Lipstick Alley. And And there's even Reddit, a Reddit page. So there's a lot of stuff out there. And then, yeah, those are the things that are consistent daily. And then there's some Instagram things here and there. And there's actually some YouTube channels as well who will screenshot his lives, especially when something is happening. So that's where I get all of the stuff from. I'm not literally, paying attention on a daily basis at all, because it's mind numbing, the craziness. But the interesting part is what caused this to happen now, because, in the background, the past few months rather, I have been just I took a pause from this, although stuff was still happening and he kept trying to poke me, to get me to do something or respond and all that. Like, I know about all the stuff that was happening, but I'm an Aries. Like, you can't make me, I'm headstrong. You can't make me do what you want me to do. I'm gonna do it when I want to do it. And so I wasn't biting. I wasn't taking the bait, but I was organizing. I said, okay, I need to step back and re-strategize of my approach. Because in a way it's like I want to present this in a different way, and I'm trying to take my content to a different direction. And so I want everything to kind of fit together, and I want the message to be a little clearer than it was, and all of that. So while I was working in the background on all of that, he's doing the shenanigans. I'm still just collecting, organizing my files. I got a really organized system now. It's a ton of stuff I'm still getting put in it, but a very organized system, all of that. Things I did not have months ago. So the other day, I was literally putting together our video, the Miss Robbie, the Welcome to Sweetie Pie's Jackson, Mississippi location closing video that you guys have seen now. It's already out there. Check it out if you haven't. Make sure to like it if you haven't. So while I was working on that video, I went on Instagram saying, oh, I need some more footage. I was looking for specific footage of Miss Robbie at the Jackson, Mississippi location, hoping to find something that I could add in the video. I log on, literally, y'all, I log on Instagram, and within less than 1 minute, I get a notification that Darius Cooks has gone live. I'm like, whatever. Like, he goes live every night, 4 or 5 times a day, every day. That ain't different. Usually, over the past few months when that's happened, I've ignored it. I'm like, whatever. For some reason, there was something that was like, click on it, like watch it tonight, like see what's going on. And I was like, I don't feel like it. And then my gut was like, click on it. So I clicked on it and I hit screen record immediately, because that's what you got to do with him. I hit screen record immediately. And wouldn't you know, this ninja mentioned my name, which I'm about to see, mentioned my name within the first 2 minutes. And I said, this is why I follow my gut. So this is how we ended up getting. And then from there, it was like, okay, I guess it's time to move. It's time to move, because people want to say I'm stalking him, doing stuff to him and all of that. But he is the one that keeps mentioning my name, and has been over the past decade. I didn't know that because I wasn't never mentioning his name publicly. But over the past decade, he's literally been saying my name to these tens of thousands of strangers. But I'm the person who is holding on to things. This is really crazy. But, that's how cult leaders work. So anyway, that's how you get this part of the video right here. This is that night that I was on there for Miss Robbie, doing my other work, and ended up running into this fool and laying in the bed, dreaming about my name. Couldn't keep my name out of his mouth. Ain't heard nothing from me. I ain't did no videos. I ain't made no posts or nothing. So anyway, the other piece is here where it starts off with him admitting to being a scammer. This is when things had really got hot for him. Last summer, I think it was. Well, he's had these waves, these ups and downs of when things get real heavy for him and media attention and all that for the, negative stuff. So it was around that time, and it was when him being a scammer had really taken off to literally everybody, if they heard his name, was like, oh, that scammer. So being the marketer that he is, he decided, I'm going to take ownership of that, meaning I'm going to switch the narrative. This is how he's good. I'm not going to lie. He is good. We're smarter than that, but he's good. And for those who don't think outside of the box, he wraps them up in this foolishness. So what he did was he tried to own the scammer title and turn it into a joke. And it's almost like the N-word, as Black people over time, instead of having it be, it's still offensive, you know what I'm saying? But we took ownership, or some Black people took ownership of it and started using the word as a word of affection, a word of, you know, it can have different meanings depending on the inflection, like nigga, you know, like that's one versus yeah, you know, like depending on the inflection. So he tried to do the same thing with the word scammer. So this fool didn't realize that right around that time, the Aries in me was like, I need to start making sound bites. I'm gonna start clipping some of the stuff he say, and then it helps with him telling his own story. And so right around that time, this happened. I literally screenshot this. It's been in my phone for a while. And here we go. So this how we got this clip. So a lot of this is pieced together. This is stuff I've had, you know, at different points or whatever. So anyway, so this is him. And of course, now all this is, what is happening? Oh, I hadn't hit play. Okay, so this is that clip of him admitting to being a scammer.
It's me, Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
So that's supposed to be a joke, but you see how the creative Aries in me put it together. And then I decided to give a definition of what scammer is, because he's using it as a joke, but it ain't a joke, because a scammer is one who perpetuates a scam, a person who commits or participates in fraudulent scheme or operation. This is him. This is him, but he wants to turn it into a joke because some of the people who embrace this, him now calling himself a scammer, don't know that there's a real meaning behind it. And his, because it got so far, I know many of you don't follow him on social media like that. You know, you're not aware of the day-to-day shenanigans with him, but it really had gotten to the point where his followers were starting to say, they were posting, oh, I just left dining with Darius Crooks. It was I'm so glad you scammed me. Oh, I love being scammed by you, like all of that. So they're trying to flip the narrative into this is a lie and it's a joke or whatever. It's crazy. It's very cult. It's very, we're going to do some videos on that too. I got some good stuff coming with that. It's his manipulation of them like a cult is really interesting, fascinating. And then what's coming next is that clip I saw that was him talking about me out of the blue, and that caused what we're doing right now.
You are, you know, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you know, Calvin, LaBelle, you know, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Veil. We ain't heard high nor have him, have we? We ain't heard high nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, child, he ready to go.
So you catch him say, child, he ready to, knowing he like, if let me shut up because of the fact that that's right. If I say something, I know he ready with the receipts. He cut himself off and then tried to turn it into a joke with this next part. If you listen very closely, I don't know what my computer was doing that day, but while I was screen recording, it was recording through the mic, which wasn't what I was trying to do at that moment. But you can faintly hear me laughing because I do find this humorous. It's at this point, there's like no real emotion behind this. It's just, I'm really covering him just like I covered Tim Norman or, you know, any other public figure. I'm not emotionally invested in that way. It's like an object that I cover that I describe to people. So I'm not, and that's so with him doing that, I was like chuckling to myself because I'm like, you don't know how ready I am. I've just been kind of like chilling. But okay, I'm gonna start that over a little bit.
The day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Veil. We ain't heard high nor have him, have we? We ain't heard high nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, child, he ready to go. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
this is the other part. So he obviously didn't know that I had already created a trailer when I did the Reality Chronicle. When I rolled out the Reality Chronicles channel, I did a trailer for it. And in the trailer, there's a clip of him in it, because my plan all along, although I hadn't talked about him in months, was that he's going to be on the new channel as one of the infamous figures that I cover, in addition to other scammers and, true crimes and all of that. Idiot. So I just clipped that part of it. What you're about to see is me just clipping that part of the Reality Chronicles trailer. I took out the whole, I was like, I didn't need to have a whole trailer play through. Just a reminder, subscribe if you haven't as of yet.
Just in case you didn't get the email and you bought a ticket for 3 o'clock, I'm also getting on live so you can hear from me directly. I know you're about to be upset. I know you're going to be mad. I know. But I didn't know. First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one. First of all, for you to know another.
What's up, good people, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over our... I'll just mute over that part. But yeah, so that's me putting in the very beginning the actual subject matter that leads us down this rabbit hole of receipts. So ridiculous. Still been praying and crooked. And we'll start to catch up on what we've been missing with the Scampire over the past few months. So definitely make sure to subscribe to our new Reality Chronicles channel so you don't miss out on any episodes of the upcoming Inventing Darius Cooks series and much more on our new channel. And you can find the link in the description and first pinned comment below. Right, Sweet Tea, I'm reading yours. But the funny thing is you have an entire expose, him belittling that the fact is something he thinks he's good at. Right, that's my whole thing. Like he's saying he's waiting on the expose like I've never done one, when this is the third installment. Literally the third installment. We had Surviving Darius Cooks season 1, season 2, now Inventing Darius Cooks season 1. So because my approach for this is different than the first two, so that's why I decided. And honestly, the whole inventing thing title I came up with over a year and a half ago. Remember when they had the Netflix show Inventing Anna, I think it was called? That's when I got the idea, because I watched that series. I binge watched it. It was great. And I was like, this reminds me of Darius Cooks. And so I was like, I want to do an inventing series on him. And here we are. Like, I don't move, like, just because I come up with something or am inspired by something, I wait until my gut tells me it's time to move. So literally, again, over a year and a half or so ago, whenever Inventing Anna was out, that's literally when I came up with the idea for this way to do it. And then I just kept honing in on my skills and all of that. And here we are. So occasionally with our past Surviving Darius Cooks series, we would get comments here or there that all we talked about was Darius Cooks' past scams and predatory practices, and comments about how he's changed and how we're all living in the past. So today, let's change it up a bit and talk about his scam from less than 24 hours ago, from the time of this video recording.
I don't have to lie to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ask me everything, and I tell you everything.
Dining with Darius. So I love this part. Y'all don't know how tickled I was as the ideas were coming or things were coming together, because I had really been kind of thinking through things little by little over the past few months. And again, when I decided I was going to start taking sound bites, that was the intention. So this was the first time where you can see, I'm like, the best way to conquer a pathological liar is to do it with their own voice. Like, I don't really have to say anything. I literally can clip together him contradicting himself. I don't have to tell the story. He has so much out there that it tells the story itself. So yeah, so it was that's why you start to see that throughout. That's on purpose, very much so on purpose. I got to use my emotional energy on other things. Yeah. Unfortunately, belittling facts and latching onto charismatic scammers is what many of us do and continue to do, which is why I don't feel too bad. Yeah. I don't think he could see the first two exposés on one side. Oh, I'm realizing what it's a pun on the eye thing. On his wandering eye. Okay. God drops inspiration in your spirit. Yeah, I truly, I know some people think this is purely out of some malice or just trying to get back at somebody who wronged you. Darius Cooks is not the first or the only person to ever wrong me in life. And you don't see me doing videos on a bunch of people from my real world. You don't see me doing no videos from anyone from my real life except for Darius Cooks. And the reason is not because he harmed me, because I don't care. I had moved on. It's because of the fact that he has harmed thousands more since me, and those hundreds, couple hundred, during the time he did what he did to me. I wasn't the only one. It was a bunch of us, ton of us in Chicago. But it's the fact that he continued and the fact that he continues as of today. So I don't do this for people. I don't do this for myself. Rather, I do this for people. This for me is a calling. So this is for me. I'm inspired, and I use my gifts. Unlike some people, I use my gifts for good. I use my gifts to give a voice to the voiceless, and those who've been harmed. Some will never get their money from this, but there's a level of, at least I got heard, at least he got exposed, at least my story got told, at least my story got corrected from him going out there when things happen, like the homeowners that even are in the news clip from Dallas, where he destroys their house and then goes on live with his beehive and basically lies on the people, stating some facts, like maybe the outlets did blow or whatever, but you're not supposed to be using commercial equipment, but trying to blame everything on them like something's wrong when he wasn't supposed to be in their house no way doing what he was doing. He leaves that fact out and then says he doesn't even know why he was being put out by the police. So he'll tell a lie, and then on top of that, he gave, what's not in this newscast is that he gave his followers the people's phone number on his live stream to like whatever it was, 1,000 people, a few hundred. I'll say a few hundred of them, because even if it was 1,000 or 1,500, those are people like us just looking to see what is this fool doing now. It's not his real followers. So he gave out those people's phone number, and of course these fools called them because it's a cult. So they called those people incessantly, harassing them. The homeowners ended up calling the police, asking the police to like, what can they do to get it to stop? The police called Darius. I got the clip somewhere, but the police then called Darius to demand that he basically call off his dogs, and he eventually did it. But he even admitted to, it's on the live stream where he admits that he got a call from the police and everything else. So I do this for those sort of people, because it's, how do you harm people? And then when they stand up for themselves, you weaponize loyal people who are blindly following you to attack innocent people. And then they're so freaking blind that they just victimize people who've already been victimized by him. It's sick. But anyway, that's why I do what I do. Contrary to what anybody says, I can give a goddamn about that. I don't care. I have developed a very thick skin. For one, I'm an Aries, so I really don't listen to people. The Aries in me. Like when I know and I feel something in my gut, it is good luck trying to change my mind. So for one, that's part of it. But for two, because I know this is a calling, I don't care. You can call me anything. You can say anything. He can try to drag me like he's done. I'm coming back at you. But you can do all of those things. But guess what ain't going to stop? This right here. And it's going to get better because I'm an Aries. So I also improve as I go, as you already see here. You're welcome. Asking you shall receive. All right, let's continue. This Cooks is a dinner party of sorts hosted by the infamous social media influencer and self-proclaimed millionaire Darius Cooks, who is also widely known as Darius Cooks for his decade plus of predatory and scamming allegations from literally thousands of people. In or around 2014 or so, Darius Cooks started having fan parties where he cooked Sunday-style dinners consisting of most of the same entrees that he's been cooking since he was 20 years old or so. And his rabid beehive fans slop up every one of his droppings gladly. And over the years, these gatherings have faced much criticism for being illegally hosted fan parties in homeowners' Airbnbs without their knowledge or consent, with many situations ending in Darius Cooks lying about the true situations to his followers as he doxed the homeowners by sharing their private phone numbers on his social media platforms to his beehive fans so that they can harass and threaten these individuals into submission to allow their leader to do whatever he wanted.
If people came to you and people say anything, what?
Okay, so I threw this in. This clip has been with me quite a while, and I think this is the first time I'm ever really using it, but the idea came to my mind because when things were really rolling out, with a lot of people coming out, the Black Enterprise article, the Forbes, the Griot, Southern Grid, the Shade Room came later, but when all of that stuff was starting to hit it and hit the media, and on top of that, all of the social media comments, he was getting dragged on TikTok by followers, he was losing followers, all of that stuff. He then comes with not only this live, but it was a bunch of them. He went into the narrative of, again, great marketer. He went into the narrative of, where are the people? And I was like, what? Because at that point, I didn't understand really. I wasn't paying deep attention to what he was doing. And now I know his game. But so I was like, what is he talking about? Like, we got all these, literally Black Enterprise magazine did not one, but two articles on you and doubled down, because the first article you said they lied and hadn't done their research and went on rumor. And so you requested they take it down, or one of your followers did. They come back and they say, well, we're not going to take it down, but we'll give you the chance to give your version of the story. And what he didn't realize, as he's trying to bamboozle a major media corporation, is that you can't just fool real reporters. These are people who are professionals. So where he thought they were just going to take his word for it like his beehive does and just blindly follow whatever he said, they were like, okay, this is your version. Now we're going to go back. Well, they ain't tell them, but the reporter then went back to the original people who reported him, and then they provided receipts. And I was one of those people. And so then they came back with the new article and doubled down on the one he thought they were going to retract because he thought he had bamboozled them, and they doubled down. So anyway, that's happening. And I'm knowing all this is out there, but what he's doing on his live streams is acting like it doesn't exist in the way that it truly does. So he's saying there's a bunch of rumors. They saying all this, but ain't no people coming forward. They ain't showing no emails. They ain't showing no everything we're literally doing. He's saying we're not doing because they're only I saw some people here commenting about basically like Trump. These people are so blindly following him that they're only getting their information from him in these live streams and on his social media posts. And anytime there's anything outside of that information wise, he tells them that is fake news. So they don't even bother looking for themselves. And then if they do look, they look for the whatever nuance they can find that may be off. Maybe someone had a date wrong or whatever. Nothing major. It's not saying everything's a lie, but some little off fact. Or maybe in it, somebody's telling their true life story, but they call him a bitch too. Say he bitch made, which he is. Then they like, see, they attacking him. Okay, fine. He attacked them first and he is bitch made, but the facts are still this. So it was stuff like that. And so he kept going. Thank you so much, J Rave. I appreciate it. Thank you, Vel. Keep that foot on that hot dog neck. Right. Dirty shirt, hot dog neck. And I love this because not only was it just ridiculous with him saying where are the people, and I'm showing y'all literally here. And these, again, this I don't even know how many people. What was it, like 10 maybe or so that I showed examples of survivors of his in this video alone. He's saying where are the people, Yeah, so this was great. And then on top of that, he looks a mess, the tight ass shirt. So this one was fun. This was nice. I like stuff like this.
Where's the messages? What's their first and last name? Where the people at? Why you attack?
The first and last name is a tactic of his. So that's him trying to scare away any potential detractors, whether they be current dehivers or anyone who has been harmed by him, because he knows that anyone who really knows how he moves knows that he doxes people. He's been literally doing it since he's come out. He's literally been doing that since his cupcake gallery, since he opened his first business. He was doxing his customers at the cupcake gallery who gave bad reviews on Yelp and stuff. Craziness. So he learned back then how to Yelp and Groupon, his Groupon customers too, from that business. So he learned back then, he was practicing of how to harass people virtually and get them basically to shut up. And so with him saying, what is their first and last name? He knows that most people, regular everyday folk who ain't on the internet, blogging and all of that, even the people who are, we don't necessarily appreciate that stuff, but we know it comes with the territory. But the everyday folks really would be traumatized by their phone numbers and addresses and all of that being put out there. For those of you who don't know, who may think, well, Vel doing this, you know, he been coasting really clear with this, like ain't nothing really happening to him. Vel handles himself a lot differently. I've been doxxed by this fool and his followers. He put out my license plate of my car. I'm like, it's a public license. Like I drive around with it, so it ain't private. Duh. He put out my cell phone number, one of them. He don't even know I got multiple cell phones. But anyway, put out one of my cell phone numbers. I'm like, I don't care. It's a business line. Whatever. Good luck. And I don't even talk on the phone like that. I don't even answer my phone. Like I'm one of those people. I don't even check my call log. Like I text mostly. So my phone number's been put out there, private information of family members, all of that stuff has been put out there. The craziest thing, and I didn't get it. I was like, one message was, your cousin Norman, I bet he with the Wendy show, I bet he wouldn't be happy with what you're doing. And that was supposed to intimidate me in some way. Like I'm supposed to say, ooh, my cousin is, you know who he is. And so that's going to hurt me. And I'm like, a fool, I've talked about my cousin in videos before. Like, and on top of that, he covers this. And he knows you're a fraud. He knows it. We talked about it. He knows because he knew him. But anyway, so all of that sort of stuff has been happening behind the scenes, but it ain't going to stop me. Like, I ain't scared. Like, what? I know he's bitch made. Like, I don't need to be scared. And the information you're sharing is like, whatever. Anybody could get that. Like, whatever. Who cares? And I'm still, and all that stuff was done a while back, like last year or something. Well, was it? Yeah, it was last year sometime. But did y'all notice me? Like, and this was while I was still going hard. So when I took my break, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with, it's just, you know, I got a life outside of this. But anyway, let's continue.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to blame me for something, I don't mind you blaming me for it. Blame me for it, bro. Blame me. But where are the people?
In February, a Dallas, Texas Verbo owner called police to remove Williams when she said she realized what he was doing with her home. She said Darius had blown the electrical system by hosting a commercial kitchen dinner without her permission.
The homeowner wants us out of the home. And we don't know why.
Williams made sure to go live on Instagram to accuse the homeowner of being the real bad guy.
So that outlet also doesn't work.
He canceled the rest of the Dallas events. His customers reaching out when they did not get promised refunds.
What?
No response from you at all, and no refund for the 2 tickets I purchased. I am out $430 and a plane ticket. How long will it take to get my refund from the Dallas event? He blocked me immediately without responding.
But where are the people?
And then there's y'all like, I'm still crying. I finished this video last night. Those who are on the Patreon, I was giving them sneak peeks. I was giving them little video sneak peeks while I was actually doing the editing. So they knew what was coming. And I gave them the intro and the outro, just gave them, you know, a little behind the scenes. But as I was putting these pieces together, I was just cracking up. And I was like, how the hell am I entertaining myself? But anyway, join the Patreon for more behind the scenes on not just this, on a ton of other stuff. I give you more insight into the world of what we do over here. Charles is saying, wasn't he trying to become a vlogger too? What happened with that? He still is. You know, Crooks, he's a grifter, and so he moves from, which is another sign of a scammer. Like, it's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income, and that's truly the way to go. However, the problem with this one is that he has multiple streams of income and he's doing them all by himself. Usually when you see someone, not usually, when you see someone who owns multiple businesses, they also have staff, and they have like a Kendi Burris from the Housewives and Escape. She has multiple businesses. She has a ton of businesses, and she's a serial entrepreneur, which is fine. But she also has a team. She has Don Juan, and then she has other people. She has assistants, all this other stuff. You got to have that in order to properly run all of these multiple businesses. When you don't have those things and you are purposeful in not having those things, you're a scammer. It's just clear as day. You are a scammer because it's impossible to run that many businesses. So what he does is move from one scheme, Ponzi scheme, to the next. So Dining with Darius was a fan club event that was working for him for a few years until the ish hit the fan with him being exposed a year or 2 years or whatever ago. Yeah, it's been like that was 2021. I want to say, what was that? April, May of 2021 is when he started to really get exposed. So that meant his 2023 sales for the event took a major hit. Now, although he lied on social media during that time, those of us, Charles know too, because Charles will be over there in Twitter land, knows that during that time, he was saying that, oh, I sold out. They thought they was hurting me, but I just made $2 million. And he did that, what, the same day, the next day or something? Like, how you make $2 million? And people were going online to where you buy the tickets and checking, because if it was sold out, it wouldn't let you buy any more tickets. Well, they weren't sold out because these people were able to put tickets in their cart and check each date or whatever. So we knew that was a lie, but his blind Beehive followers, see, y'all hating, y'all putting more money in his pocket. You can't hold no man. God got him. All the BS. Now we see, though, he's still putting these tickets on sale. And on top of that, all these dates are still, available, including the one that he only had 8 tickets sold for that we just found out, which is why he canceled. I'm sorry, why he forgot that he had a 3 p.m. dinner. That don't even make sense. Like, when you really think about it, how do you forget you got a 3 p.m. dinner when your calendar is booked out a whole year in advance? And on top of that, he shops for his stuff the day before, for his dinner services the day before. Then he claims that he had just got, well, I don't want to get too far ahead, but craziness. Power dynamics for life. He got Trump ways. I honestly, at times, have been more towards the beginning, once I started to really wrap my mind around what was happening. Because again, you got to remember, I knew him personally, and he was not like this when I knew him personally. He's always been a narcissist. It wasn't on the level that it is now, but he's always been like, it was more selfish. But to see what it's come to, like, it took me a while to separate who I knew versus who he has evolved into for the predator that he's evolved into. And one of the comparisons I started to notice after a while was like, this nigga act like Trump. Like, he literally lies about stuff that's clearly in your face. Like, you know better. People are more intelligent than that, but he will lie about it, and they blindly follow him. Okay, so I'm gonna play, and then I'm gonna catch up on some comments at the next little juncture. unsanitary cooking practices.
Ticket.
I don't want to go there for
There's the unsanitary the people.
And then there's the unsanitary cooking practices and lack of food service certification for Darius Cooks, which has been proven. And honestly, if the head person cooking, that being Darius Cooks, doesn't have a food certification himself, it's likely that his staff doesn't as well. Nevertheless, there are other complaints as well, including the illegal serving of alcohol during these paid fan events and the violation of cottage laws regarding preparing food in residences for commercial purposes, which he consistently violates in multiple municipalities across the country. And the one violation that seems to get the most attention on social media is Darius Cooks' followers, past and present, who say they paid, and Darius Cooks did not follow through by canceling his fan club dinners and never refunding their money. And in over a decade of having these events, unfortunately, Darius Cooks' predatory practices have not changed or improved for the benefit of his loyal rabid followers. So in an email to his followers titled, "You're Gonna Kill Me," Crooks goes on to write, "You're all gonna absolutely K me. And all I can do is take the beating. Here it comes. I don't know how in the hell I did this. I completely missed that we had a 3 p.m. event scheduled for today. One spreadsheet showed only a 7 p.m. I got up just now to email everyone and then realized there is a 3 p.m. for today. There's absolutely no way we could even try to pull it off. My 3 p.m. chefs aren't even in town yet. They get in this afternoon. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I'll process all the refunds immediately. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you don't get that refund, feel free to comment over here so that your comment won't get deleted like it will over there on his platform." So that I added that because I'm serious about that. My goal, my desire for this situation right here with the cancel. I keep saying cancel, but no show Dining with Darius event is that we want to know that these people actually got their refunds. I know I'm seeing different comments about, I understand because I go back and forth about whether or not I care about the people who continue to walk willingly into getting scammed, but I also understand the psychological manipulation. And I've been watching like documentaries on cults and all of that, and understanding how people based on various needs and where they are in life and all of that can slowly get sucked into stuff that they don't realize. And I think because we're used to cults looking a certain way, for those of us who, are a little older, 30s and above, cults used to be, you gather together, they're almost like a church, or they're somewhere in the boonies and people, looking like flower children and all of that kind of crazy stuff. But that ain't what it has to look like today. Literally, there are virtual cults. There's one, I can't think of the name of it now, but there was a female cult going on TikTok like this quick. And I'm like, TikTok was kind of new, but there was one. Thank you so much, Power Dynamics for Life. I appreciate you. There was one on TikTok. So it's ways to manipulate people virtually as well. And that's what he has capitalized on. Some of it is organic, where you start to build these, they call them parasocial relationships, but they can be used for evil, which is what he's done. And so he's used that and loved bombed these mostly women, and it's taking them for all they're worth, and they don't even know what's happening. The thing that the funny thing, well, ironic, I don't know, funny, odd, is that when this fool gets his windfall, like when he's done, when he gets whatever his goal amount is, he's going to say F them. He's going to be gone. They're going to be lost with not knowing what to do with themselves, because they won't have someone to follow and watch, lay in bed and get crumbs all on their hairy chest, the taco meat chest at night, and wake up in the morning to you. I mean, the comments, we gonna cover all that. I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but Jesus, y'all, it's, and I don't even think they see it. I don't care if they ever see it, but I want us to see it, and I want us to study it because it's very interesting. Ty T Baby says his karma will come people are already starting not to support his. I'm sorry, somebody clicked on it, clicked it off. And I don't know what your comment is, but yeah, I think you were saying something about people are starting not to support. Yeah, I mean, so it's complicated because I started another comment somewhere. Is that okay? It's somewhere else. I started another comment where there's okay. Thank you so much, whoever put that back. So, T-Baby saying his karma will come. People are starting to not support his events. It's only a matter of time before he's done. I respectfully disagree with that, and this is why. Because the internet is different. The only way that he will be done is if he stopped legally, meaning imprisoned, or if he stops on his own, meaning he retires from this particular scam. He'll always scam because he's greedy as well. So he's going to want to amass as much money as he possibly can. So once he's done with his internet scamming in this particular way, he'll move on to another scam. That I'm clear on. I know him. I've seen him evolve into scam after scam after scam. The other piece of it is what happens with social media is that, and you can, like, I've been studying this stuff, y'all. My Aries mind just be way outside the box. Like, we ain't got to everything I'm doing around here yet. What happens with social media, and there are so many case studies of this, the people you may know, Tasha K, Derek Jackson, those are the two that's coming to mind. Even like a Kevin Samuels, even though he's rest in peace, he's gone. You look at people like that who have had major controversy. Chris Brown, like he's started, before social media is what it is today. But even him, he has a huge social media presence. You look at people like that, and what happens is they'll hit these major controversies. People will unfollow them. People will leave, etc., and hate them, and all of that. But what happens is, as long as they stay on social media, they amass new followers who don't know what happened. They weren't around when those stories happen. So sometimes they'll never hear of what happened, and they're only seeing the new content, and they ain't digging back even. And maybe the person's swipe the internet and swipe their platforms clean of all the drama, or maybe it's there, but it's so deeply buried that a person, think of how many people you might hit the follow button on, and you don't research them first. I don't, and I'm not like pointing fingers because I do now more. I ain't gonna lie, I do now more, but I don't always. I ain't gonna say I always do it. I'll follow a person, and not until something comes out. Now for me, when something does come out, like a little rumor, a little inkling of something, because of what I know about the internet now, I'll research it. But for the most part, if I don't hear nothing, don't know about nothing, I don't go digging back to say, well, let me see what their first post was, and now let me scroll through it and see if anything happened. I don't do that. And so that's what happens. So you'll look at Darius Cooks, who, when we first started coming out about this in a major way, because people have been talking about him since 2009, but when it really hit the fan in like 2001, he lost some followers. He had on YouTube somewhere around 260,000 subscribers. Today, he's well over 300, almost at 400,000 subscribers. He grew because the people who are following him now are coming from TikTok. Some of them ain't seen like what has happened. Some of the people, because of the drama that happened, learned about him, started watching him may have even subscribed just to keep up with the drama. Some people who follow him love the drama. Most of his D-hivers, they love this drama. Most of them love this drama. They eat it up. They're evil people too. Those are the people, like, those are the cousins y'all don't talk to because they too messy, and the co-workers who y'all like, don't tell that bitch your business because she'll be spreading it. Those are the same people who follow him. This is what we're dealing with. So because there lacks so much humanity in our world, people like him will always thrive on the internet unless, again, he's shut down legally by the law in prison, or if he quits himself, which he ain't gonna quit again until he get the bag that he wants. So you can embarrass him all you want. Like this work is still good. It helps some, but this doesn't eliminate his presence. I'm clear on that. I know how this works. But and I'm not saying that, because there are like legal things that he's crimes rather that he's committed and all of that may catch up to him. But what did it take for R. Kelly? 30 years, was it? 20-some years? 20-some years for R. Kelly. Bill Cosby, 40 years, and then he still got out on a technicality because he had made an agreement a couple decades prior to that if he confessed to whatever, then they couldn't ever retry him on it. It's ways around it, people. So I want to set our expectations properly, but also just continue to be informed and be aware of not only him, but it's a lot of other internet scammers out there too. Paradox True says, if I see you don't wash your hands on a regular, I can't eat anything you prepare, food, drink, or nothing. Well, yeah. He's definitely a filthy person. He's always been. Oh, this is what I want to see. He uses his own information. Use his own information against him. He keeps thinking he's invincible. You're proving him wrong. Yeah, I mean, I can come with some blows now. He knows that. He knows that. He tries to downplay it, but he knows that. That's why I don't understand why he would even mention my name. Well, no, he's a narcissist and a sociopath, so I know why he mentioned my name, because he likes attention. And he's really good at the other thing he's good at. People don't realize, like his D-hivers, they don't realize that they think he's such a good read and he really know how to put people in their place. He's bitch made, because he does that when the people don't have a voice. So he shuts them down. Like, for instance, people who come for him in his comments or whatever, he'll block them and then say what he has to say. They don't get to respond. Well, when he does that to me, when he drags me on his Instagram lives, late at night, because he's, miserable, I get to come back. I get to then have thousands, really more than he has, watching me. I have more engagement than he has. Having thousands watching me respond to him and exposing the truths about him. And he knows that. But his ego, that's a whole nother story. How much y'all want to bet that he's going to start preaching next? I would not be surprised. He claims that he was a preacher. Remember, I had that receipt too, where he claimed that he went to the Moody Bible, that he graduated from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. But when someone looked into it and reached out to their alumni association, they had no record of him ever even attending the school, much less graduating. It's craziness. All right, let's get back to this video. We're only 7 minutes in. We'll never get through it. Let me play more.
But anyway, Darius Cooks then also decides to go live to make this announcement to his followers. And this situation here could be excused. Again, if we're talking about someone who's only been in business a year, like the young man he's been harassing, who's been trying to grow his brand. Another story. We'll talk about that another time. But if this was a new business, I could see, as huge of a mistake as this is, I could see people making these sort of mistakes. But we're talking about someone who's had this brand and this particular arm of the business for well over a decade. And I think this speaks to his controlling nature, because we're talking about, for one, someone who obviously, this proves it. I mean, we have many other situations that prove that he needs an assistant, really a staff that handles the business side of the period. But this shows it. It's glaring. You have two different spreadsheets that aren't matching up. If you had your staff more involved, the staff that would be assigned to the 3 p.m. fan club party would have been able to say, hey, Crooks, we should be there. We're working tomorrow at 3, at least to be able to remind him. And I know they shop in advance. He just did a live recently talking about how they shop in advance, the day before and all that goes into it. That means no one knows what's happening but him. He's literally breadcrumbing his staff on what's happening in the business moment by moment, day by day. Because if they had advanced knowledge of these sort of things, they would have been able to help him catch this oversight. But nevertheless, let's listen to, Darius Crooks explained this situation.
Just in case.
That was the piece I didn't elaborate that much on the fact that when you really think about, and it goes to what I was saying with a person like a Candy Burris would not be scheduling her candy coated nights. She has that adult pleasure, toys. I'm trying to think of the words because I'm on YouTube that I can actually use. Pleasure toy line, and they host parties with those. She's not participating and scheduling those because she's also on TV, and she also has a couple restaurants, and she also has a YouTube channel and this and this and this. But he's acting like he can do all those things with a cookware line. Now he's trying to get into the adult toy line. It's craziness, y'all. We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. But the social media piece, this takes a lot of work, y'all. Our Patreon people know, because I share with them the stuff that I be doing. They know how much work just even doing videos alone before you even do the rest of the social media pieces, how much work that is. That alone is a full-time job. How is he doing all of that, traveling the country, but we're supposed to expect that he can do this stuff with excellence and not be scamming people and answering these emails and doing customer service? That's why you have so many people saying, I've emailed him, I've done the social media, I've done this, I've done that. He's not responding. He on a plane somewhere. And then he's online, laid up with his taco meat showing and cackling like Medea. If anyone gets scammed by Darius at this point, it's their own fault. Again, there are a lot of people with this point of view, Topaz Spivvy. And I fluctuate. Sometimes I'm with you 100%. And then other times I'm like, but there are those who, again, join him. Again, it's been a little quiet for the most part. It's been more quiet for the lately with I would say the media attention. There's people who cover every single day. They're posting something about the shenanigans with him, but the masses may not be aware of it. So there are people who are subscribing to him and may not know. They are unknowingly purchasing from him. And you might say, as much as we know, how they miss that. There are literally still people that don't even know Darius exists. Like, Darius is not famous. He thinks he's famous like that, but he's not. Like, there's a demographic of people who know him. So you got to keep in mind that there's always strangers that's coming in blindly, not knowing who he really is. And so that's another reason why my goal is to keep, highlighting this.
If you didn't get the email and you bought a ticket for 3 o'clock, I'm also getting on live so you can hear from me directly. I know you're about to be upset. I know you're going to be mad. I know. But I didn't know. First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one. First of all, for you to know another. Yeah, I did not know I had a 3 o'clock dinner scheduled for today. When I looked up, I was ready to email everybody before I got ready to get in the shower. And I'm like, oh my God, there's a 3 o'clock dinner that's scheduled right here. So I didn't even know. I had no idea. Didn't even know. Ain't no way to even pull it together and try to do it. No way.
And
so this was funny to me. You see how, again, he's good at what I need to probably quit saying that. But you know what? I like to be honest. Even if I'm in total disagreement with a situation, I like to be honest, like chew the meat, spit out the bones kind of thing. He's good at what he does because of the fact he's like, ain't nothing, I didn't know. How the fuck you didn't know? But he's convincing, if you don't know any better, convincing that, oh, well, maybe he didn't know. But how don't you know if you're the only person who controls that entire situation? It's not that you didn't know, it's that you dropped the ball. Well, it's that you decided to cancel it because it was only 8 people attending. That's what really happened. Like, maybe you were hoping, like, at the final hour, that more people, that last 24 hours before or 48 hours before, as you were traveling there, that you were hoping that maybe, some people would buy up the tickets. But it's clear he decided not to do it because of the fact that only 8 people. But he's acting as if he wasn't a part of it. so that the blame is not really on him. And for, again, his DHAV followers who, coddle him, they're like, oh, somebody I saw in the comments on that live stream said, things happen. What? Things happen? This is a business. This is a guy who claims to be so good at his business that he can do master classes and charge you $2,500. Things happen. Things happen because what about things happen to the people who have flown there? Because some of these people are driven hours to get there. These people aren't necessarily attending these events in cities they live in that's just down the street from them. On top of that, he ain't giving them the address until 2 or 3 hours before, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm a planner. You're not going to send me where I need to be, and I'm traveling to another state or city or whatever, and then I got to wait around for hopefully getting a message to tell me what address to come to. And I don't know if that address is about to be 5 minutes away, 30 minutes away, or an hour and a half, 2 hours in traffic away. No, you're not going to get me like that. But they do it all the time. And that is how people then say, I never got the email. So some of these people fly in to some random city and never get the email that gives them the address. We got those messages. We saw those earlier. Craziness. The other piece that I thought about was, and this didn't hit me until after I had did this video, until after I had done the voiceover part, so I wasn't going to add it in. But if this was truly a case of him forgetting, oversight, well, you caught it in time for the people to still attend. Wasn't after the fact. Why didn't he still put something together, something quick and easy? Like you can go on the internet and Google 30-minute meal, 5-minute meal. Let's whip y'all up something real quick. Like, because you guys have made the effort and I care about y'all, you supporting me. I mean, this is how I look at it. These are my supporters, y'all. This was y'all and me. I'd be like, okay, I effed up, so we ain't got enough time for me to put that steak in the oven. But what we gonna do is I'm gonna whip y'all up something and we gonna hang out and we gonna chill. And it's gonna be a different vibe than the normal vibe, because now I'm gonna be able to spend more time with y'all because I'm not necessarily cooking. And I apologize. And how about I give y'all a refund, or if we still hang out, give you a partial refund, a little something for your troubles, something. And then I was like, okay, what if he ain't had time to cook? Okay, fine, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna apologize and I'm gonna say, hey y'all, there's a great restaurant. What if I order us carry out? Because you have traveled to be with me. And really, we know that that's why I started calling them fan club events. Because it ain't about the food. It ain't about the food. Because it's like somebody's Sunday dinner. It's about hanging out with him. One of the guys he scammed, who was contracted Craigslist wait staff, said that those women there treated him like a rock star. I've seen it, so I know this is true. So it's really just about hanging out with him and being able to touch the hem of his garment. So why not let him hang out with you? Because that's all they really want. And then I'm gonna order us a pizza even. I mean, I'm taking it down lower and lower because I'm like, there are so many other options versus saying, well, I don't know. Ain't nothing I can do. It's too late. Ain't nothing I can do. What? It ain't 3 yet. We can still come. Let us just come. Let's play cards. You always talk about bid wins. Let's play cards. So to me, that's what also said, this nigga didn't want to do that. He literally was like, I ain't gonna do this. It's for 8 people. And I don't like y'all like that. No way, which is the real truth. That's the real. Even his staff has said he don't really like these women. Like, not only is he not liking y'all, but he don't really care for y'all at all. I know that based on experience as well. I remember when he first started, and I was like, oh, damn, you're so hateful when they leave out about them. Whatever.
What was interesting in this is his claim that he's never canceled an event before. When someone commented, here we go, another cancellation.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
Crazy, because in his response, he can be so convincing that if we didn't have our own memories, our brain, and the internet, we might buy it too. But thankfully, we don't have to rely on his words. We have the internet and we have our digital files over here. So let's dig into the crates instead.
But where are the people?
This is my experience with that certain social media chef. So, backstory 2016, when he was first getting started with these dining events, me and 3 of my friends bought tickets. I think they were like $120 at the time to go to his events. They were promoted, it was promoted as like a 5-course or 6-course meal, whatever. We just wanted to go because at the time we followed him and we were really big fans. We go to the event, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't even lie, fantastic. The food, chef's kiss. Like, you cannot deny the fact that he's a great cook. Cool. So fast forward 2018, I think, maybe 2019. I think he had opened up his restaurants. I don't know. He promotes that he's doing the events again. So me and my friends are like, bet, let's go. So apparently when he opened up the tickets, our city sold out super quick. So we bought tickets to like a completely different city where we had to like buy flights. Luckily, thank God, we hadn't bought our flights at the time. Anyways, so here's where it gets, So as it's leading up to our dinner time, to the time for our event, he goes ghost. We hear nothing. We started emailing like, hey, what's the location? Whatever. Nothing. We emailed, we were DMing, nothing. Then the event date comes and goes. We still have heard nothing. We've DM'd, we've emailed. I mean, we've done everything. So finally, we're like, what the hell? Like, we missed the event because he never reached back out to us. So we each called our banks. We explained the situation. We got our money back. And that's when I realized, oh, he's a scamming ass nigga. So if you are thinking about going to the event, first of all, I heard it's like $289 now. It's not worth it. Second, just be careful because from what I'm hearing, he's still scamming people. So you may or may not actually have an event, but he got your money. So just be careful.
But where are the people?
And
I love that. But where are the people? I'm seeing comments here. So what I'm gonna do is pause as we go. I'm stopping at the 2-hour mark, no matter where we land in this, because I'm just giving a little commentary. And it's been a while. I saw somebody saying they missed the chat. I miss having the chat. We're back. We're back. I had to knock the cobwebs off. Had a lot going on. But yeah, we're back. We're gonna be doing our live streams again. So just stay tuned. Make sure you're in the Facebook group and our text community so you get those notifications. So we'll be going live this coming week as well. Michelle Duncan says, and I don't know, did I mention this? I'm not sure, but can we discuss how he's now a food reviewer? I'm noticing how he creeps into popular trends and then tries to act as if he's the first to do it. Yes, Michelle, you are spot on with that one because I'm forgetting the guy's name because he's newer to me. I just found out about him like 2 weeks or so ago. The black guy food reviewer on TikTok who's blowing up and now has a couple million or whatever followers. And he's now been on the like Good Morning America or something, like one of the mainstream media. And so now Darius is doing it. The thing is y'all put it in the comments if y'all know the names, and moderators, if y'all can put it on the screen. But the guy on TikTok has gone viral. But the thing about him is, for one, he's very humble. He's humbled by the experience, but he's a humble person in general. He's not, you can tell he's not a narcissist. He's not doing it for fame and fortune. He's kind of, well, you know, everybody want to make a dollar on this internet stuff, but he's in it for the right reasons or whatever. And so Darius sees those sort of things and then he jumps on the trend. The other thing is, and again, trust me, y'all, because I'm a part of so many of these. Keith Lee, thank you so much, Nikhil White. Keith Lee, yeah. So Keith Lee has, you know, carved out a market for that, or is hitting with that because other people have done that, but he's hitting right now. And so Darius sees those sort of things and then he jumps on. Just like Tabitha Brown, when Tabitha was rising, he started trying to emulate some of her stuff. The most recent thing that I saw was the Arby's fish sandwich thing. And again, because I'm a part of so many groups and all that, and I'm on social media like that, I see a lot of this stuff. It comes across and I see it. That just because I don't respond or mention it don't mean I didn't see it. So I'm seeing this whole Arby's fish sandwich thing play out on social media with Darius Cooks. and him acting like he has discovered it. He discovered it. And it's so crazy. And his blind Beehive followers, because some of them, they have blinders. He's the only person they really know, only person they really follow on social media. And so when he says something like that and they hear about the Arby's fish sandwich or anything else trending that he's jumped on in the very beginning, because that's when you jump on trends. If you want to ride the wave, you jump on it at the beginning before it starts to peak or before it starts to climb. And so he mentions it to them and like, y'all need to try this. He got a picture with his ashy knuckles with the fish sandwich. And they like, ooh, I just tried it. Ooh, you own it, man. Ooh, bro, all of that, doing all of that. And so then they start to, I don't know whose idea, because I ain't seen that piece of it. I'm probably still gonna do the story on it because it's interesting in so many other ways. Because again, y'all, I do deep thinking with this. This ain't surface. This ain't surface at all. So he then somehow they decide to start the beehives. They decide to start a campaign of spamming Arby's to get Darius Cooks an endorsement deal. Just like, you know, Tabitha Brown had with Whole Foods with the turkey well, it wasn't turkey, it was bacon TLA sandwich, which was like not real bacon. So just like she got that deal and it just kind of started to make her career take off, they're trying to do the same thing with him and the fish sandwich. Now, what I realized, because I didn't know nothing about no Arby's fish sandwich until I started seeing people posting stuff about this food, trying to act like he discovered it. Then I did a little bit of research just because I'm like, he on some bullshit BS. I forgot where I'm at. Some BS. I thought we was on Patreon. Some BS as usual. And so I decided to do just a quick research. And I saw people had already been posting about that sandwich for weeks prior to him even mentioning it. But the people who posted about it were all small creators. So what really happened was that he saw them, and there's a few of them. He saw them posting about it, and then he jumped on the trend. I mean, he's skilled at the social media thing, but the issue is he tries to act like it's his invention, like his brainchild, and that was not for sure. And so it's so funny. So anyway, the thing is, Arby's eventually responds to one of their messages saying, "We see what's happening." And that's it. Like, that was it. Like, leave us the F alone. Do not spam us. We see him. We're not touching him with a 10-foot pole. The crazy part, and we're going to talk about this too at some point. The crazy part is that he was all for this. And then someone mentioned in a live later on, days later or whatever, have you heard from Arby's yet? And then he's like, yeah, there been talks. I'm like, they ain't touching you. They are not touching you. You Google your name. Arby's didn't just start the fish sandwich this year. Thank you, TJ Diamond. Right. On top of that, and then people were mentioning that it was oh my God, what's the name? The Lent. It was also Lent. So that was one reason why it was taken off. Why the sandwich was like really popular during that time. Like, it's not, he did not. Oh, and so that I didn't really express this for those of you who aren't familiar. They were trying to give him credit for the sandwich selling well, almost like when Popeyes had the chicken sandwich and it just took off, or Patty Pies and I forget James, whatever his name is, how he, did the singing on the video went viral, whatever. They trying to give him that level of credit, but this ain't that. This was not that at all. And so the crazy part is that he's saying in one breath, he don't want no endorsement deals. He don't mess with brands because he don't want to. He makes all his money by himself, and he doesn't have to share with any middleman and negotiate, and he can live his best life and all these other things. We have this recorded too. He's saying all that, but then months later, when you think all the controversy, now this is what he was saying during the controversy. Like, why would I care about that anyway? I don't want no TV deals. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't need that. Look how much I just made $1 million. All of that. But now this fish sandwich come out, and all of a sudden you want credit for the fish sandwich selling. And you want an endorsement deal. I thought you didn't want no endorsement deal. I thought you didn't want no middleman. I thought you didn't want to work for nobody. Lies. The lies. The lies. I need candy candy birds. The lies. Yeah, then he tried to claim that he was causing them to sell out. I mean, and they were eating it up. I saw them comments that they were posted on Twitter and in the Facebook group chat. I was just chuckling to myself and just kind of baffled in amazement to like, they will just buy anything he says and give him credit for anything. Again, he's the Messiah. He's the Messiah for them. I think most of them don't go to church no more. They just watch his lives on Sundays and think they saved. What is the fish sandwich? Has anyone not heard of a filet of fish? Right. Hey, you there. So okay, I'm gonna read a couple of the starred comments because I got like 26 of them here. I don't want to get too far behind, and then we'll play a little bit more. Sweet Diva says, what happened between Darius and Sunny? Sweet Diva, I'm not sure how long you've been around, but we literally have I want to say I may have even dedicated an entire episode to that. I have. There's been an entire. So if you look at my Surviving Darius Crooks playlist on the IAmVellB Reacts channel, and I'm gonna be clipping some of that down and like enhancing it for this Reality Chronicles channel as well. But if you go there, you'll see it'll break it down. I don't want to go too far because it'll take me too far off my trail if I start talking about that now. But he wronged her as well, and then turned, like, in summary, he wronged her, lied about her, and had his Beehive followers harass her even as recently as really current day, which is what he consistently does. So in summary, but there is a video on that. But Surviving Darius Cooks will break all of this down. Not this particular topic we're talking about is brand new, but his predatory ways and his scampire, the beginnings of his scampire, breaks all that down. Azia Walker says, so none of the staff noticed anything. No one knew about the 3 p.m. seating. The lies. Yeah, that's the other piece, because he y'all saw him say in there, and my 3 p.m. staff, they not even supposed to come in for another few hours. The lies. Because they shop for their stuff before, the day before. And I don't know. It was a lie. We know this a lie. And whoever found that, that's why I love the fact that it's so many people that's invested in this. So whoever found the fact that he had only sold 8 tickets for that particular seating, kudos to you. Thank you for your hard work. Appreciate you. And I literally saw that in the middle. I was sitting there recording, like now, talking, doing the voiceover, going through the stuff. I had my outline and everything. And as I'm talking, I was looking for something, and then I ran into that post, and I'm like, you gotta effing be kidding me. What I'm talking about now is being exposed. So that's why I added that in. Says the bottom line, the crook called for you, so you answered with receipts. He asked for this. Yes, ask and you shall receive. That's the title of this this season's theme is ask and you shall receive. He actually called the lady racist. I think I start this when we were talking about the Airbnb, the clip that played from the news. I think that was the Dallas house where, yeah, he destroyed their house basically, and then then told his followers that she was racist, which was how he revved them up to then call and harass them. Like, I don't know why they kicking us out. I think they racist, or they racist. She did this to me, or she said this. She found out I was black. I know why it is. She found out I was black. Now they want us out. That's how he rolls. And they just eat it up. Oh my God, they eat it up. That's right, Miss Lady. April 7th. I'm 10 days later. April 17th is my birthday. I'm excited. I made it another year, y'all. Made it another year. B Nicole, hey Vel Maj chat, new subscriber from at Truth Hurts. Hey B Nicole, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the VPO community. You're a little famous in the internet streets as well. And I appreciate you. Sweet T Jones, he lies dead in your he lies dead in your face with a straight face. It's scary. It is scary. It is very scary. That's how he duped me near the end of our friendship, because what y'all see, it was more undercover. It wasn't as blatant as it is now. He's become emboldened because he's gotten away with it. It's kind of like you know, I don't know, a pig eating slop. The bigger they get, the heavier they get. I don't know. That wasn't a great analogy, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, speaking of slop, let's get back to this.
And so that was Brit Janae, and that was actually posted well over a year ago. That was her experience with Darius Cooks. Again, this is what I see a lot too, like, oh, he's never scammed me. Well, you haven't had your turn yet. And so Brit Janae was an example of someone who attended a Dining with Darius events when he kind of was getting them off the ground. She said she had a great time. The food, in her opinion, was chef's kiss, as she said. As a person who's had much of his food, it is good food for what a family member would cook. Again, I've said before, your aunt who makes a great mac and cheese, or your uncle who makes the best fried turkey. It's that, but you wouldn't want your uncle charging you $289 for a turkey dinner. That's what Crooks is giving over there. But so when I hear people say that the food is great, their palate is maybe not the most evolved. I mean, it's good. Again, it's good for regular cooking food. It's good for a Sunday dinner. It's good, somebody bringing a dish and you're like, oh, they can cook. But you wouldn't suggest that person open up a restaurant or even cater dinner events. So, it is what it is. But anyway, so Darius Cooks, again, in the clip we just watched, said that this here that we're talking about, this current event, again, I'm showing you receipts from the past to prove that this is not isolated. But he's saying that what just occurred with him canceling this event last minute it's never happened before.
First of all, ain't no another cancellation. This is the first one.
Okay, well, all right, well. So next we have Spunky Brewster was actually an employee of Darius Cooks. He likes to claim that like she's just made all this up, but she has receipts that she did work for him. I've seen emails and everything, y'all. It's crazy. He lies about everything. I've literally seen the emails of her reserving spaces and emailing on his behalf to people and him responding in the email. So 100% legit. It's Spunky Brewster. So anyway, she talks about her experience working for Darius and handling these dining events. So let's take a listen.
But where are the people?
So a lot of people have been coming to me because there is a certain social media chef that's getting dragged not only on social media but in the news, and people want my opinion about it. And the reason why is because I have a past affiliation with this person. Now, I don't do drama. I have an aversion to it, but if something else is going on, I might pull up a seat. I might look over the fence. However, if I'm involved and if you wrong me, I have a right to speak on it. However long ago it may have been, it's still my truth. Long story short, my roommate at the time was raving about this social media chef, and I needed to check out the recipes. So I went through, browsed his site, and I'm like, oh no, this is pretty dope. But I'm also very business minded. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it looks like he's doing everything, setting up the tripods and pushing out the information and stuff like that. I'm like, he looks like he needs some help. So I reached out to him with a proposal that, hey, I can be an assistant for you because I got, like, at the time, over 15 years of administrative assistance experience. And at first he was like, nah, I'm good. I do everything myself. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he circles back sometime later and was like, hey, actually, I do want to interview you, but I'm going to do it on Periscope. And at the time, that was another social media platform in front of his thousands of followers. I'm like, okay, that's extra, but fine, whatever. So I get the job. I do the things. And I'll say this. He definitely has a strong, I was going to say work ethic, but I don't think I want to use the word ethics in this. He has a hustle, but then he also hustles people. I won't go into those details, but what I will say is that I decided to stop working for this person when I realized it was all about the money and not about the people that supports him. But the thing that really pissed me off was this $10,000 Airbnb fine that he racked up under my good name. So as I alluded to in part one, I incurred a $10,000 Airbnb fine as a result from working for this social media chef. This was all his fault, by the way. I didn't do anything except book the places that he used to do his dining events. So we used Airbnb for that. But when I look in hindsight, I realized this was all a scam from the beginning. Now, mind you, in part one, I told you I reached out to him to see if he needed an assistant. He emphatically told me no, but then circled back around. What I recall is, like, my first week working for him, it was like, oh, I'm having trouble getting into my Airbnb. I don't know what's going on. So if you could do me a favor and just sign up for an account, and then I'll have you be the person to reach out and secure the venues or the houses for my dining events. Now, if you have Airbnb, you know it's not as simple as just signing up with your email address and go. No, you have to provide your driver's license, links to your social media. So if you're a business owner who fucks up your reputation on Airbnb, you don't have another driver's license. You've got to find another sucker to use their account that's in good standing to continue your business. Played from the beginning.
I love when she does that part. Played from the beginning. That's how I felt years ago when I was like, when it all went down and he scammed us and ran from Chicago. I was like, damn it, played from the beginning is what I realized.
So when I was on my way out, I crafted a very detailed email to him because just like he likes to show his receipts, I like to keep mine as well. And I knew a day would come when I would need them.
I'll be right back.
So I was detailed. And my ask was, one, hey, I realize you've been taking taxes out of my check. So that means you plan to file taxes on me. I'm going to need my W-2, which I never got. Tax evasion. Two, I signed up with this for this Airbnb to support you. But now that I'm leaving, I no longer want you to use the Airbnb because, again, my driver's license and everything is attached to it. And I'd hate for something to happen and I get blamed for it because your name is nowhere on this Airbnb. Imagine my surprise when less than a week later, I get an email saying, hey, you owe Airbnb $10,000 because you trashed this person's house. And when I told this chef person about this, it was like, well, does she have pictures of what I did? Because otherwise, if she can't prove it, then, bitch, this is under my name. $10,000. This ain't no chump change. Part 3 is going to have to come. So there was that. There was the don't use my Airbnb account. And then the week after I quit, I get the fine for $10,000. He acted like he didn't care and basically was on some no face, no case. Like if this person can't prove that I damaged her home, then I'm not paying it. So since that was the attitude we were taking, I went into Airbnb. I changed the passwords, which is key because if all of your events for the next several months are under my Airbnb and I lock you out of it, you ain't getting access to these Airbnbs. So imagine that as soon as that happens, somebody calls you frantically like, I can't get into the Airbnb account. The password has apparently been changed. I'm like, yes, because I told you not to use my account and you did it anyway. Well, I told you I needed more time to find an assistant and I can't just do this overnight. So I'm going to ask you nicely to change the password back because this is my credit card that's associated with this Airbnb account. I'm like, again, when I left, I told you the conditions of me leaving and you ignored them and you've racked up $10,000. So we need to resolve this. Long story short, I basically just ended up reaching out to the homeowner to let her know that, hey, I no longer work for this person. I was not there at the time of this event. I can't say what happened either way, but you need to direct your money request to this person. Here is his information. I reached out to Airbnb and did the same. Now, unfortunately, Airbnb is like, well, it's against our rules for people to reserve on other people's behalf. And that was part of the reason why I was banned from Airbnb. But I also closed my account because I'm like, I'm not getting no money out of me because I also had my credit card on there for my personal Airbnb usage, not because of the business. So that's where we stand. We did not end on good terms.
But where are the people?
So the crazy part about that particular story is that he actually tried to at one point act as if she was lying and she was never an employee of his, that she just made all this up. And then she has receipts. Literally, I think I have the screenshot. I know I've seen for a fact the email exchanges with her on Darius's behalf, reserving Airbnbs and checking spaces and all of that, and him interacting in those email exchanges, like, you know, saying, yeah, give you the go ahead for this or check on this or all of that. So him trying to make it like she was just some stalker person who never actually was employed by him in any way or even contractually, was just a flat out lie. But again, we've seen that before. The other thing I saw in her story was the correlation of him taking advantage of people who come to him trying to help him. So people who come to him with the intention of like, I see a need that you have and I want to basically fulfill it, and not having anything to do with his status, because this was even prior to him having any level of notoriety whatsoever. He would take advantage of anyone. He'll be like, oh, now see, I can kind of take advantage of them. They're, you know, a person who leads with their heart. And so he is notorious for that. He's also notorious for leaving people hanging on a limb and leaving them with the short end of the stick and owing situations. He's done that with, and we'll talk about it one day, but the interior designer he had for his greens and gravy restaurant, the lady who she was starting her business and she did the work and she did a beautiful job, and then he didn't pay her. And she had hired the contractor under, so she was paying the contractor as well. So she was basically fitting the bill for him, and he ended up not paying her, and she had to sue him. He fought her for months or whatever until she, the day before the court hearing, he actually finally just sent her a check for the total amount. I have that in my archives. So, and there's way more stories. That's one coming to the top of my head. So he's just not a good person. And that's the stuff that bothers me. Like, why are you taking advantage of people who are, you know, looking out for your best interest? It's horrible. Just a horrible person. Tia Baby T, did I read this one? It says, keep doing what you're doing. Keep people aware so they don't forget about his scams. Oh, okay. Yes, absolutely. That's my plan. Thank you so much. Mixed Dixie Blue says, very good insight about cults. Some people in our lives have those awful characteristics to get control. Yeah, to control people and get control of. Yeah, and he is one of those people. He will not operate or exist in a situation where he is not in control. To me, that automatically speaks to some psychological issue. We all have to be, even if we are people, you know, who are in powerful positions. I'm, you know, serial entrepreneur. I'm self-employed and all of that. So in that comes a level of, I like to make my own rules. I like to do my own ish when I want to do it, et cetera, which is why I left corporate America. However, when I was in the corporate America, I thrived there because I also knew how I was a leader, but I also knew how to follow and to be led. He does not have the ability to do that, which is why he got fired a bunch when he was in corporate America. So we talked about that too. For those of you who aren't aware, go to the Surviving Darius Crooks playlist. And then I'm going to, redo some of that stuff in the newer format, the way I do the more documentary style commentary. But we talked about that stuff as well before. Paradox Truth says, I just don't get it. His food doesn't look good to me. And that way he has that punch, tea or whatever drink he serves is a total turnoff to me. My mama told me you don't eat everybody's food. Yeah, him having the what do you call it? Something sangria drink or something. Kool-Aid, sangria Kool-Aid or something. Kool-Aid sangria. Yeah, that's what he's. That's what he has been making. I don't know what he makes now. I don't pay attention like that. But anyway, and then he has it in a Rubbermaid container, which is not for food. You don't put food in a Rubbermaid, not a tote, a Rubbermaid tote, the one you put like clothes in or Christmas wrappings, like your Christmas decoration. Put no food in it, but that's what. And they dip it. Oh my God, yeah. And I have pictures of it. We'll talk about that later. But people, they dip their hands in it, like they scoop with a cup into, because it's a big old trough, and I've seen pictures of people dipping their hands in it, and you see the drippings off their fingers. I will be goddamned if I will be drinking something that a bunch of for not even my family, not even my husband. You cannot be putting your damn hand like in something I'm drinking and then I'm gonna still drink. Nope, sorry. So yeah. But again, that was the other piece I was gonna say. Reason I think I started was the other piece is those dining events are not about the food. I am not reading that. Nicole Driver. But these events are not about food. They really should be called Darius Cooks fan clubs. And I know that his new business model, I saw some comments, I ain't got it to him yet, but I saw some of you had started talking about the adult pleasure toy line and that plan. So what I already see is the new grift. And I caught a bit of it was someone recorded it and it was on YouTube where so his plan is, again, nothing's original. It looks like he's taking the Candy Coated Nights, bedroom candy from Kendi Burrs, her approach, where he'll eventually move into that, which is just absolutely crazy to me. But this just shows that his cult leader mentality, like it's really, he's dug his roots in, like he's got them now. He's got a hold on them that you can have this gay man. And I'm not like saying anything about like, oh my God, a gay man, because I'm a gay man. Like, but this particular gay man, this one, that gay man lets you know that he does not like women. He finds your body parts gross. This is the same person who can now sell you pleasure toys for yourself. And in the comments that I saw on this YouTube channel where somebody screen recorded one of his lives about this, they like, ooh, so we gonna be able to have a party with that. Ooh, I'm looking forward to it, blah, blah, blah. So the new grift will be moving away from food into, we're going to have these toy parties. And they'll get to, again, fan out, because it ain't even about the toys, but they'll fan out, and they'll be doing that with someone who finds them disgusting. Like, could you imagine? Like, he literally, I don't even know how if he can fake like he's interested in that with them, he's a brilliant actor. He deserves an Oscar, because I know he will be grossed out talking about, rabbits, bullets, and all of those toys and what women doing with them and hearing those. Now he's okay telling them graphic things about him and his, escapades. He ain't gonna want to hear that about them. He started even started a Facebook group for it. And I know he is not engaging with them about that stuff. It's about the money. It's his new grift. And I said, but I did say, as I was like, that's for him and for the new grift, it's brilliant, because now all the issues you had with serving food, the health and sanitation issues, having the police called on you because you're breaking these rules across municipalities across the country, the fact that you got to hire a staff and you're toting all this food around and, going to Aldi's to get this food that you're overcharging people for, and Publix and all of that, and charging them the prices as if you only shopped at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. All that's out the window. We ain't got to worry about none of that now. He just shows up, and however they gonna do it, somebody bring a box or whatever of the stuff, and then he just sells it. That's it. I'm like, that's pretty brilliant. Now, because there's no high bar or high standards for a person who's selling pleasure toys. All the morality goes out the window, because we're getting as gutter as not that, it's fine. People into that stuff. It's fine. But there's spectrum of that. So we can get as gutter as we want when we get in that lane. Makes sense, because you are gutter, because you are the scum of the earth, And because you're not legitimate, we know you're not a real cook, you're not a chef. So now you go this other direction. And so now we can sell you the home goods stuff. I can go on video and cook in my kitchen and snot and, rub my balls and all that stuff. And you'll buy that stuff because I'm going to be advertising pressure cookers and spatulas and all of that stuff. You're going to be buying that. Then on the weekends, I'm going to pop up in your town and, pop up at these various locations. I guess it'll still be Airbnbs. And then I'll act like I'm not disgusted as you talk about how you like to be pleasured and things you enjoy doing by yourself or with your, mate or whatever. Pretty brilliant. Very stunt queenish. Very, 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 extremely. He's been taking Trump gaslighting classes. Yes. I think he's an instructor now. I think he's graduated. Now that he may not have graduated from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, but he definitely graduated from the Scampire and Donald Trump School of Scamming. Positive Vibes Only says Darius lied and said Black Enterprise was going to issue an apology and retract the Black Enterprise and Black Enterprise made him look even worse. Yes. Yeah. I had mentioned that a little earlier. Yes. Where he got on there with his follower who was like, after the first Black Enterprise article came out, she read it. What was her name? Letitia or something? Letitia. She read it and she was like, oh my God, the audacity. Darius is a great person. This is not the Darius I know. And so she's like, I'm going to stick my neck out for him because how dare Black Enterprise become a gossip magazine only to talk about him? What I found interesting. I plan on doing a story on this too. If I can get to, I got so many stories y'all coming y'all way. But Keith Lee was in Black Enterprise this past week, if I'm not mistaken. And I have it in my list of stories to do. And I'm like, so what does Darius say now that another Black food influencer is in Black Enterprise and there's an article written on him and it's not about scamming? Because supposedly Black Enterprise, for some reason, for him only, became a hater of successful Black food influencers. Keith Lee is actually more successful. He's getting a lot of just general media coverage. They not dragging him. It ain't a bunch of people coming out talking about he scammed them. So how do we work with this narrative? Like, you're the only one who's hated. Like, everybody's jealous of your success, not success of people in general. Because Keith ain't getting drugged. I ain't seen Tabitha Brown being drugged. Kev on stage, I ain't seen him being drugged. I'm talking about major stuff. Everybody got a little something. Somebody pissed off growing up, whatever. That's different. But I'm talking about this. This is what we talking about right here. That's different. We ain't seen nobody else with that who ain't legit except for Trump. Trump. I don't know, y'all. And there's a video on that too. For those of you who may be newer to this topic, there's in the Surviving Darius Crooks series, one of the first one or two episodes was actually about the Black Enterprise article. Actually, I think it was the second episode because I think the first one was a live stream I did that I'm highly embarrassed about at this point because that was I think might have been my first live stream ever. So it's very sloppy, and I was interviewing somebody and I was bad at it. So you live and learn, though. We've come a long way, y'all. We've come a long way. But I left it up because it's informative, and it's with Christy, who was, I should say, a long-term friend of Darius's for nearly 20 years at that point, who had left her home in Chicago, moved herself and her children to Atlanta to help Darius with the Greens and Gravy restaurant, because Darius opened the restaurant, and once again, like he does everything, he bit off more than he can chew, and then had a mental health breakdown and literally was laid up in bed in the dark and wouldn't go to the restaurant. Christy was on the phone with him. She's in Chicago. She's feeling sorry for him. Y'all see a theme here? Feeling sorry for him, like he needs my help. He needs my support. She, again, uproots her life, quits the job, comes to Atlanta, becomes the general manager for the restaurant, helps the restaurant run as well as she could. It's getting accolades, they're getting the community awards, all that kind of stuff. And then because she's always been a serial entrepreneur herself, she was also wanting to like grow her own. She has a coffee brand, and so she was trying to do those things on off hours. Darius now he'll claim that the issue was she was trying to use his brand to grow her brand. We'll talk about that later too, because it's a running theme with that too. Again, he'll talk about how now he'll do a masterclass and charge you $2,500 for it. But when you look at his track record, who can you say that he mentored? Who can you say that in this 15 plus years of him being this amazing guru in the internet and food influencer and social media space, who can you say Darius brought them along with him? Or Darius so helped out a lot of people, or have helped this person and that person? Who can you name? I'll wait. No, I'm not waiting because we'll be here all night. So he feels threatened by other people's gifts and success. This is very crazy because I'm so the opposite. So it's like kind of crazy for me to like understand that, because I'm like, your gift is not my gift, my talent is not your talent. Like even me with this, even now I get me exposing him is not a good feeling for him, and I don't expect him to be like, "Ooh, great job." But he tries to denigrate the fact and act like I have zero talents at all, because the truth is he feels like he needs to be empowered. The crazy part, and I saw somebody else commenting about this too. Crazy part is he'll talk about even in the Shade Room interview, he goes on to say when they asked him about, well, what about your ex-business partner, ex-friend, Lavelle? He, has accusations of you, scamming him and another business partner, blah, blah, blah. He's like, Lavelle, he's just a blogger and he's trying to get clicks and views. And so I thought it was so funny, but it was literally, I laughed. He did that, but what is he now doing? I think that was Charles I saw in there talking about, he's calling himself trying to be a blogger now. Then bought him a little mic. Because he realized that this untalented person over here actually has more actually I have more influence, but I have more engagement on my platform talking not just about him, because he's not even my highest view. That's another lie I will debunk at a point when I get to it. He claims that I'm his highest views, and the reason I cover him is because he's helped grow my platform. He's grown my platform. I literally have, I have receipts for everything. Y'all know this. Literally, YouTube tracks like what's your top videos, etc. He's not even in my top 10. Not even in my top 10. How did you grow my platform? Sweetie Pies grew it. Now I'll never take it away from Tim Norman and Sweetie Pies and Miss Robbie and them. They grew it now. They grew this platform. But anyway, he talks about me just being a blogger. And at a point, again, he tries to act like he's the first to do it. He realized he get more views on his stuff than I'm getting. And so he all of a sudden is a blogger. What? So funny. He has no originality, though. I told y'all that he has no real identity. And I told y'all that literally in when I started the Surviving Darius Crooks series, the official commentary series, I literally told y'all that everything I had, and I didn't realize it at first, but over time, especially when things went down, I realized he had no real, I knew it even when we dated. I started to see him mimicking his friends, and I was like, damn, you got to take everything from them? Like everything? Like all of a sudden somebody using a certain word, and then now you got to use it every day. What is happening? He doesn't really have an identity. Comes from his traumatic childhood, though. Then we might dig a little deeper into that. I try to tread lightly in that area, because I could say so much more than I've ever said, but I try to tread a little lightly because it does involve other people as well. So I try not to cross that line into going into his family per se, besides giving kind of the biography. But it is so much to that, y'all, that explains. So like, please, y'all, love on y'all children. Please love on y'all children, and love on everybody. Well, no, it was the lack of love from the main sources. That's his biggest problem. But anyway, I'm gonna go through our comments. We're already at the 2-hour mark, and we have 30 comments. So I'm just gonna watch the video. If you weren't a part of the live stream of it, watch it, and definitely like it and share it and all that good stuff. But I'm gonna go through the comments, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because we gotta watch tonight. We got SWV and Escape. I gotta watch that. I haven't been talking about it to y'all, but I've been watching it. So we got to watch that and whatever else is coming on tonight. And then I'm about to put a pizza in the oven and all that good stuff. Actually, speaking of that, I'm going to give y'all a quick little commercial. Let me put my pizza in the oven. And that way, by the time we're done, it'll be almost done. All right, we're back. All right, let's get to the comments, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me today and helping me knock the cobwebs off. I know I say that like every every other 2 months or something that I'm like disappearing, and then like, oh, I gotta knock the cobwebs off. Let's see. That was this one. Okay. Michelle Duncan says that man will be in jail and be scamming behind bars. The Beehive are loyal. If they are anything, they are that. Very true. Very, very true. Now that he has successfully done, the thing is, what he's done though can be done by anyone. Truth be told, the fact that he is a constant daily presence for them is a big part of how he has manipulated them and continues to do so, and continues to have a level of mind control. You'll notice that, like, even this with what's happening tonight, he's going to come hard tonight with them. He's got to love bomb them. It's going to be more of I love you. He's going to do something more entertaining with them tonight. Everything. And he used to, and I don't know what's happening, but he could also be going live right now. He may have gone live a little earlier so that he can distract them from what's happening over here. All of those things. He knows, but again, I study what he's doing. So, and it's fine because it's some people, again, it ain't even really that I'm trying to get a bunch of D-hivers to, I don't know, leave him and come over here. Definitely some of them I don't want ever to come over here because their souls are tainted. I don't need that energy over here. But it's not that. I just want people to be informed and not harmed and hurt. Like, I don't care about people going over there and being entertained. It's like, but please just don't watch yourself getting scammed. We're not making this up. Sweet T Jones, he will never stop and he'll never get to the bag he wants. He's begging for Arby's attention, and I know they sent him a coupon book and a thank you. Right, exactly. He will not, and you're very right about that, Sweet T. The fact that the way he has carried himself and the damage he's done to his brand. What I will not take away from Darius is that he is talented, he is gifted, he is entertaining, or can be entertaining. Had he stayed on the path and wasn't a tortured soul, he could have been a mini Tabitha Brown-ish kind of situation. He definitely could have been. I saw that in him years ago. Like, literally, I've said it before, the first time I saw him get on camera and even being nervous and the bloopers and flubbing and all of that, I was like, it was something lit up. And I was like, okay, he got something. Like, this is something. What I didn't understand, because at that point he hadn't scammed me, he hadn't scammed anyone I knew of. I I knew he had done some dirty stuff to like corporate America, like when he started the fraudulent payroll company and he scammed his payroll company by trying to steal their clients. I knew about that. But again, I was young too. I didn't think that much of that in a way, because I was like, he's trying to survive and trying to whatever. But I didn't realize that once he realized it was hard to scam corporate America and he could end up in prison quicker, he started to scam the common man, and I fell on that list, unfortunately. Or fortunately, because I learned lessons about life and stuff. It's fine. It's okay. But anyway, because of that, his brand will never get bigger than his followers. Like he's living off of his followers. That's very clear. And that's why he keeps trying to come up with new grifts, new Ponzi schemes, because he has to get new money out of them. Because what happens when they buy all the cookware and all the cookbooks? What's left? Oh, now I got to create something else. So and now I'm not doing these dining with Darius events because I'm tired of seeing them in person, or I don't feel like, making chicken nugget salads anymore. What else can I do? Oh, they want me. I don't know why, but they want me. So let me do a pleasure toy, adult toy line. And then I can act like I'm into them, enough, or some of them going to think just by buying that it's, they're going to be imagining it's me or whatever down there. Whatever. I don't know what they're doing. But so I get it. But again, he has to operate within that isolated group. That's it. He ain't going no further. His brand is garbage. Even though I noticed he's been trying to scrub the internet a little bit. I see you at work. We working too. Anyway, Sugar Spice, wild in these YouTube streets. Yeah, I was talking about the doxing and all of that. Yeah. And that's another reason why I've been working on my content and the way I approach it and all of that. And even creating the Reality Chronicles channel. Like there's a whole strategy behind all of this. Because yes, it is wild in these YouTube streets. It's like corporate America on Unleashed. Like imagine y'all at work in corporate America, and if your coworkers could just do whatever the hell they wanted to do with no consequences. That's what it's like being in YouTube land as a creator. Says Miss Dixie Blue says, even if Darius was or was not a scammer, he needs to delegate the workload, because it truly takes a village to run the business the right and grow it. Yes, Miss Dixie, it's kind of common sense for you and I and the rest of us. It's common sense. And why they keep excusing him, like, well, we know he don't have no assistant and he says it's okay. And I was just watching as I was pulling clips for this video we just did today. I have one where he talks about, see, this is the reason I don't have assistants, because people want to get in your business and then they want to basically they get jealous and all these other things. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, I'm not saying that stuff can never happen, but you know how many millions of people have staff who are entrepreneurs? Like, what? He acts like it's impossible and they buy into it. Like, no, it's not that can't happen. It's you're the problem. And that is the problem. The problem is, again, he feels threatened by anyone else with talent. So if he can't just run the person and take advantage of them, that's going to be a problem. And it's hard for him to find people he can just take advantage of, with no accountability whatsoever. And then when he says that people want to be in your business, he's running a scampire. And so in order to help a person operate their business properly, you have to have access to basic things. But in giving them access to those basic necessities and databases, etc., they can then immediately realize that he's running a scampire, and seeing him, not responding to emails and people asking for refunds and all of those other things. And that's what he doesn't want, the business that he doesn't want people to be in. So therefore, he doesn't have any employees on that part. Only the chefs, well, whatever, shoe chefs or whatever, the cooks. That's all he got. Everybody else is contract, and he don't have no assistant. Nobody is in his business. No one is a part of his daily business operations except for him. That should speak a lot to the psychology of the person we're referring to. Sounds sociopathic to me. My opinion. All right, next comment. Marlena says the name of the toy. Oh, okay. I thought you was giving the real name. I was like, I ain't finna promote that book. The name of the toy line, Unclean Hands by Darius Cooks. Right? Exactly. Ashy Knuckles by Darius. Says Trina, my sister is so snowed by Darius. She buys everything he puts. I have tried to warn her several times. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I gave up on that. I know, honestly, as crazy as it may seem and sound, I know people who support. I know of people who, by way of other people who know. I actually, know a person who is fully involved in this and would send me let me know when he was going live so that I could, this was way back in the beginning, let me know he's going live and all that other stuff. And then they bought products from him. And I was like, okay. He was like, I just had to have that. Okay. I'm glad you actually got your shipment, but okay. It is what it is. Courtney Witherspoon says, I totally understand how someone can get stuck into Darius Cooks' universe. When I found him, I was like, ooh, look at this black man. And of course, he was so genial. Downloaded a recipe, but child. Oh, is that when you found out it was a fraud? When you saw those incomplete recipes, misspelled words, were you like, ain't but no effort into this? Not only can I not make what I need to make from this recipe because it's lacking so much, but on top of that, I can tell you put no real effort into it. The other piece is that the fact that he does these cookbooks completely by himself, no one doing any proofreading, checks and balances, and all of that. It's such a narcissistic approach and, sociopathic approach to life. He could be so much more successful if he really allowed, but he doesn't have the ability mentally. He doesn't have the ability to allow other people to participate in his business world, in his world, period. Really, that's why his relationships are not successful either. That's a whole nother story. Oh wait, this is recent news. Yes, hey you there. What we're talking about today is happened less than probably 72 hours ago. I forgot even as I was recording, I was like, damn, I don't know if this happened today or yesterday or what. But so it happened a couple days ago for sure, but I don't know exactly what day. And then we have so much more that we can cover in present day, and I'm going to move a little bit into doing more of that because my idea originally was to give retrospective. I was going to do chronological order from the beginning all the way through till we got to present day. But then there was so much stuff that kept happening present day that I was like, I'll never catch up. And I remember Trikesha was like, I polled the Patreon, I was going to say committee, but there are committee group in the Patreon. But I polled the Patreon people, and I remember Trikesha was the one who was like, you need to cover the present day stuff. And I was like, but I want people to understand how we got here. But I see that I need to do this and then, hop back and forth a little bit along the way. So yes, we'll be covering more present day because people tend to, because of the way that I was approaching it, a lot of the detractors was like, he only talk about old news. He won't move on. Like, I'm just like living in the past. I'm like, no, I'm trying to catch you up to what's happening still. But you live and learn. This has been a learning lesson, but it's also been very helpful for, like, I try to look at the glass half full, turn lemons into lemonade kind of thing. And with this situation, I have definitely seen the blessing in it, as far as it helped me with the direction of my channel, in the sense of it started exposing me to the fact that I really do enjoy researching and helping people understand the predators who are out here and talking about infamous figures and scammers and all of that other stuff. And so, we've done our stuff with Welcome to Sweetie Pies and Tim Norman. We did Alex V. Miller, and then we got a ton more coming. Now we've been talking about, some of the young men whose lives have been tragically taken by other predators in different ways. Yeah, he's a straight hustler for sure. Power Dynamics. So he moved to another city again. He's running. Yeah, so he supposedly has moved technically back to Houston. He had a home in Houston while he was living in Atlanta. So he was living in Atlanta and he bought a home in Houston and he had both. Sold the house in Atlanta, I think last summer maybe. And he was originally talking about moving to Florida. I thought it was for tax purposes. And I was like, it's also a quick way to get to Cuba. Like if he needs to run, like, cause I remember when I went there last summer, I don't know when, I think it was last summer I was in Florida. It was. And we were on a boat tour. And I don't know, I could have I don't know if it was Cuba now off the top of my head. But the guy told us, because we were like touring past all these yachts. And the guy was like, yeah, these, a lot of rich people live here and they have these yachts because they could just hop in within, I think it was 45 minutes to an hour. They'd be in a whole different country. And I was like, that's why he's trying to move here. Because he was just like, when them feds get on him, he just out. So, but yeah, I don't know for sure. But anyway, so now instead the Florida thing went out the window. I don't follow him like this. I don't know why. But now he started talking about Houston again. And so now he's officially moved back to Houston. And what I do know is that his grift in Atlanta Georgia had come to an end because the state of Georgia, and we are going to cover this. I keep saying it, but I literally just moved it to my working projects. So we're going to really talk about it. That means it's coming soon. But the state of Georgia, when they did the consent judgment against him, one of the parts of the agreement or stipulations was that he cannot run a business in the state of Georgia anymore. That was one of the stipulations. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense that he would be trying to move from Georgia because he can't run any businesses out there. And what is he working on? He's trying to start a new business. He wants to do the, pleasure toy line. So, and other, I'm sure he got other grifts planned as well. So that would make sense why he would want to go ahead and get out of Georgia. Georgia was done with him. He couldn't run no more grifts out of it. He had run his relationship there like he's done everywhere else he's been. Chicago, New York, now Georgia, next is Houston. Positive Vibes only says Darius uses bagged salad, canned peaches, etc. He could have thrown something together, especially for 8 people. I totally agree. Like I said, again, they there for the fanning out and to be able to touch the hem of his garment. So they don't really care about food that much. You could serve them a pizza or canned tuna. Topaz Spivvy, thank you so much for the super chat, friend. I really appreciate you. And Daphne Williams, thank you so much, friend, for the super chat. I really appreciate y'all. I see y'all quite often supporting me, and I really appreciate that. Miss Matthews says you have the same birthday as rapper Redman, K Solo, Debret. Debret? Same birthday? I never knew that. That's Tammy's Roman's birthday too, FYI. Oh, I didn't know any that I shared a birthday with any of these. That's interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I'm forgetting who I knew. No, I don't think I knew of anyone who had my exact birthday. Because I know Mariah Carey, I think, is an Aries too. Like I knew of some Aries, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Pink Pearl says, wow, mine is April 18th. Oh, okay. So we celebrate our birthdays just a day apart. So happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Beautiful +2 birthday twin. Oh, okay, we're birthday twins. Hopefully you're part of the text community because I do send out birthday happy birthday greetings almost every day. Some days I forget, but almost every single day. Hey you there 3 says, so he's saying that he catfishes these property homeowners. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by catfishes them, but he does rent these Airbnbs and verbos without the homeowners knowing what he's going to be really doing in them. I think he occasionally gets permission, but I think sometimes his hands are tied because remember, he creates these dates a year in advance. So sometimes he has a date coming and he can't find some homeowner to cooperate and be okay with it. So he just like, well, we got to take our chances with, this one or that one. And I think that's how he runs into these people who aren't down with it, because there have been times where he has houses where people are okay with it. But I think if it's a choice between, we see he'll cancel, but I think he'll also take his chances. Yeah, and just lie to the homeowners and, you know, take advantage. Is he allergic to telling the truth? Yes. Yes. Boozy Chick says maybe he can hook up with Bishop Whitehead when he starts preaching. Yeah, they are one and the same. I really have just had a hard time like following Sweetie Pies, the Tim Norman thing, and Darius Crooks, and then, you know, the various stories I cover here or there. It's been really hard for me to follow other big stories like Bishop Whitehead and some other topics I really would like to talk that I actually know about, but I haven't been able to follow them close enough to feel like I can talk to y'all about it or share in the way that I would want to share. The other one is the Murdoch family situation. I will be doing a video on that, but I don't know how deep I'll be able to get into that. Probably with the son, though. I think I'm gonna be able to, because now Tim Norman's gone. I might be able to replace it with the son's situation, the Murdoch son. Alex. Is it Alex? Yeah, I think. No, that's the father. Whatever the son's name is. Buster. So anyway, but yes, Bishop Whitehead and Darius Crooks are very, very one and the same. The only difference is their grift is different, but their tactics are very, very, very similar. And I think Bishop Whitehead might have a little bit more money. Well, you know, has scammed a bit more money. Bishop Whitehead was on the live the other day. I just happened to catch it where he I forgot what was coming out. I think the lawsuit he had about the church. Again, I'm trying to catch up, but I don't understand all of the particulars. But something with the church, he had a hearing that day, and then he gets on live and he's playing gospel music, and he's like, I'm blocking all the haters, and I'm gonna read y'all a Bible verse. And I'm like, I don't understand how these grifters, how these scammers, how these people use the Bible the way that they do. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I would literally be afraid that God is going to, if not take my life right away, is going to give me a horrible ending to my life by playing in his face or in, you know, with God's people like that. But people do it every day. Darius does it too. He uses, again, we're going to talk about cults, and we're going to really break this stuff down. Y'all think we broke this down? Wait till I get to that, because I've been thinking about this for well over a year or so. I'm going to really break that down, how he uses, you know, the church and our familiarity with it and all of that to love bomb people. And even now, because tonight, I'm sure might probably be a sermon, a church-esque kind of feel to it, because I'm supposed to be the devil, the truth teller, the one who actually has light around him, not just the one shining on me from a ring light, but the one who actually has light shining around me and the life that I live. The fact that you're not going to see, you know, tens of people, hundreds, not thousands. You probably won't even find 10 people who are going to say anything really bad about me. They might not like me, but they ain't going to be able to say, I did this to them, I did that to them. Unless I cursed them out for messing with me. That's different. But no, seriously, just the light around. So I will become the villain. All of us, not just me, but today I'm speaking on a platform. So it'll be made about me, and somehow I'm ungodly for telling the truth. And they'll, you know, they'll tap into all that they remember about when he used to be in church and all of those, you know. Maybe he'll start talking about his grandma. That's another way he gets to them. You know, he'll talk about subjects or play a game. You know, they'll play cards, or he'll teach them something, or he'll get on the piano and show them that he was learning how to play the piano, and he'll play Anita Baker or Luther Vandross. All these things that we can relate to, that then makes us feel like we're just like you. You can't be a scammer, because I feel a connection. It's deep, y'all. It's deep. Oh, and it's so textbook. When you watch it, I'm like, oh, you up to this again? Oh, you're gonna pull out that trick today. I'm telling too many of my secrets still. I'm telling too much. I was trying to get out for you. How many more? Okay, we only got 12 more. I'm gonna get through all these and then we're done. Get through these comments. I don't want to leave nobody hanging. The ones that have been starred, of course, by our wonderful moderators, Precious G and Alice Blesschild of God, in the background. My background singers, I really appreciate y'all. Says there's a Levon says he also drafted an email script and posted some of our posted some of RB employees' contact information and asked his followers to send, saying they tried the fish sandwich because of him. Yeah, but again, this is so again, if you let a scammer talk long enough, or a liar, they gonna tell the truth on themselves. And so, how you doing this? But last year, you were saying, late last year, you were saying that you didn't need no brands and you didn't want no brands, and that's not what you're trying to do. You know how much money I make on Facebook alone, all of that. But then you now are telling your followers to draft an email to connect with a brand so that you can get sponsorship. The math ain't mathing. But also, you were saying all this stuff when you were running the Dining with Darius Ponzi scheme, and you had that impending April sale coming that you were used to selling out and making a couple million, and then we got in that ass. Then you made a fraction of that, and you was like, "Ooh, times are hard." It's also amazing to me that someone's supposed to be so rich is so affected when the one thing gets thrown off a little bit. Like, you should have so much money that the cash flow shouldn't matter, but your cash flow still matters, which lets me know you're still broke. Well, you're bad. You've always been bad with money, and we can talk about that a little later. But anyway, Carol Chamberlain says he won't ever get an endorsement from any large companies. He better be careful, because lawsuits from corporations will take him down to the nobody he is. Yeah, he's gotten away with a couple of those as well. We know that Eventbrite was looking for him. Groupon, I'm not sure what Groupon did exactly, but he did get kicked off of Groupon. He had issues with Amazon as well. He was selling fraudulent t-shirts and not delivering them. Something crazy with that. That was a while ago when I was looking up that, so I can't remember. It's so literally, I have now our Patreon people, they know because I've showed them, but I have files on this dude, and there were 22 different businesses he's had over the years. And I got files on, digital stuff on all of them. So 22 scams. So Brand Pam says, sorry, Vel, but when you mentioned his name, I saw one eye blushing. One of his eyes? One of his wandering eyes? I'm a little lost with the comment. Vel has a good vibe on Harry Y. Back Darius. All facts. Yes, all facts. Power Dynamics for Life says, I love Wendy's fish sandwich. I start this because I'm like, I don't think we have fish sandwiches in the well, at least the Wendy's I go to. I've never seen a fish sandwich, because I love a good fish sandwich. And I end up getting their chicken sandwiches because they don't have fish. But I'm curious where, if you don't mind saying where you are, so that I know where, when I'm traveling, I might be able to get a fish sandwich at Wendy's. Michelle Duncan says, you notice he fooled with every viral content creator, but left Tabitha alone. He ain't dipping his toe in the he ain't dipped his toe in the vegan world. Actually, he did. He has a vegan cookbook that ain't vegan. Let the vegans tell it. People have gone through the cookbook, and talked about how the vegan cookbook ain't even vegan. It has a lot of stuff that's not vegan in it. So he did try that. And I'm not sure. I never really paid attention to that timeline of that book versus when Tabitha Brown really started to hit. So I never thought to look at that. So I don't know which came first. I don't know if he was copying with that. But we do know that veganism started to really kind of start trending at a certain point. So I could always look at that. I'm sure that's what made him do it. Everything he does is based on a trend and on the uptick. He knows when to join it. You join it when it's starting this, not when it's up here, not when it's at its peak, but when it's starting. That's what he does. And that's why sometimes, because he was starting to have a larger platform, people were thinking he was the brainchild of it. Like the soul food cake. I exposed that before. He claims that he'd never stolen recipes, but I literally have documentation showing where he stole recipes. Like, this person posted this or did this years before, or even months before what you did, and then all of a sudden you pop up with yours. Craziness. Brand Pam says, Darius will never be a success. His supporters are just as he is. I might be reading that wrong. I don't know my comprehension. I'm just trying to get through the last few comments, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. because about 30 minutes over what I wanted to hold, y'all. Michelle, oh no, I'm sorry. Michael Williams says, all this while he is a bariatric patient. Remember, yeah, and those bariatric videos and y'all, those on Twitter and in the exposed Darius Crooks groups. Really, I should just say social media in general have been dragging him for those the day in the life of a bariatric patient, and he was going to different restaurants and showing what he was eating. And I was like, this dude is literally eating more than I am, more than I would consume in a meal. And then he would claim the caloric intake of the food items. I just, even off the top of my head, was like, that is not right. It's just not right. And I'm like, this is why you're not losing weight. It was crazy. Like he would have enough food there for a family of 4 and claim, and he's like, oh, I just had a little piece of this, and I had 2 grapes, and I had 1 rib, and I had only had a swig of the margarita and 2 swigs of the iced tea, sweet tea. Like, dude. And I'm like, I've never had, and I've heard some things, especially through all this drama with him, heard some of what bariatric patients go through and the side effects and all of those things, those things I wasn't privy to. And I'm like, this ish ain't adding up. Like, and I did see him the day after he claimed, wait, was it the day after? Yeah, it was the day after. I was like, or was it the same day? It was the day after he claimed he was having the most recent bariatric surgery, because he was due in court for his case. Melanie's Ford suing him for the attorney's fees. And I'm gonna break all that down too. I kind of dropped off around that time. Backstory to that, but I ain't gonna talk about that. It's all that stuff. I've had people asking, and I ain't talking about it. Maybe one day, but most likely not. But anyway, he came to court that next day after supposedly having this surgery, and he was, or appeared to be, from my naked eye, because I was there face to face, seeing him in them tight ass pants. I was there, and he seemed to be in pain. Like he literally was leaned up against the wall, waiting on the courtroom doors to open. He then, when he came in, he was kind of walking slow, and even when he sat down, he seemed in pain. I'm not sure. I'm like, maybe he has some kind of other, liposuction that didn't work or something. I'm like, I don't know if he had that, because he still looks the same. Like he ain't got no fitter. He ain't got back down to his original weight that he was when he got that first surgery. So, and usually, people start to drop the weight pretty quickly. Shoot, that was what, 3-4 months ago? Probably. I can't even remember, but somewhere around there. Wasn't that November or something? I can't remember. Yeah, it was November, because it was the week of Thanksgiving. So from Thanksgiving to now, you still look the same? Something ain't right. Either you did not have the surgery, or your lack of self-control, like you can't control how much you lie, has prevented you from being able to lose weight. Your lack of self-control. That's crazy. But yes, that's where we are with that. So I do think he had something. What it was, I don't know, but he did have something. I don't think he was faking all of that, because he didn't need to fake it for us, because he knows I know he's a flat out liar. So I could see him, if he was faking, totally just coming up in court normally and everything else, and then getting on camera and acting like he's, sick again or whatever. But I will say, he didn't even drive that day. The crazy part is he doesn't know that. I'm telling him, I'll share some of this on Patreon. But we ended up, I ended up driving behind him after we left court. It's just, didn't even know it. Just happened to look up and like, wait a minute, that's Darius's truck. And but he didn't even know we were behind him. Catherine Miller says Keith Lee focuses on spotlighting small Black businesses for the purposes of boosting them. Darius' agenda is 100%. I'm sorry, Darius, you got me excited on, because I'm like, you nailed it, the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. I'm tired, y'all. It's catching up to me. The people, Patreon people know how long I've been working on this video, so I'm tired now. Darius' agenda is 100% self-serving. That is 1,000,000% true. Thank you so much for that comment. Okay, we only got 3 more. Says dating. He can't find a man, always calling his booger wolves thirsty. Right. Darius, you got ghosted. Yeah, I saw that post too. I'm like, he is such an attention whore because that was embarrassing. Like, why would I would not post that. Not everybody's gone through little stuff like that. You're talking to somebody and they claim they busy or whatever and whatever. But why are you posting that? Like, he's so desperate for attention. He wants them to feel sorry for him. He wants them to think about him. And I thought you didn't want to be in a relationship. I'm gonna pull up them clips too. You dumped Jerome because you didn't want to be in a relationship. You needed to protect your space and all the drama of supposedly me stalking your ex and harassing him. He just fully made that up. He did a whole press conference. We're gonna talk about that again because I need to dig a little deeper on that one. But oh, that was so funny, y'all. I did a video on that. If you missed it, it's out there. I can't remember where, but I mean, it's on the IAmVellB Reacts channel. Not sure if it's under the Surviving Darius Cooks video or not, but it was, I can't remember, last summer maybe. It's been so much, y'all. But anyway, he did a whole press conference. For those of you who don't know, he did a whole press conference, his own, got on live. I call it a press conference, PSA. He got on his live. He cried. I actually have it in the little trailer for Surviving Darius Cooks. I mean, I'm sorry, Inventing Darius Cooks trailer. I have a little clip of that little thing he did. So in that, and if I could find it quickly, I would have played it for y'all, but I'm tired. But in that, he claims that I had been harassing his ex Jerome when they were supposedly still together. And because of that, he was breaking up with the guy because I was harassing this man that I've never even met before. And I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I'm over here minding my business. And the crazy part was he did it. I want to say it might have been a Thursday morning or something. It was in the morning because I was getting my haircut and I come out from my haircut and my phone is blowing up with all these people. Like, oh, did you see what Darius did? And I'm like, he always doing something. So I didn't immediately think it had anything to do with me. And then when I saw it, I was in the park. I still hadn't pulled off yet. And I'm like, this nigga is crazy. He just totally made it up. Because again, I was doing stuff like this and the heat was on him. And it was other people doing stuff too. And I was traveling to Atlanta for the cases. That was shit was bothering him. So I was traveling there covering the case of his stalking what do they call it? What order of protection that he was trying to get, the fake order of protection against Melanie Ford. And so doing all that, and so that it was eating him up. He had to get back at me, and so he decided to try to turn the entire internet against me by doing this PSA and acting as if I have ruined his life and his relationship because I'm harassing this regular everyday guy. Because Jerome was not an influencer or anything. I'm like, it's not even my nature to do those things. But people don't know that. People don't know that. And so he put out my full name, all that stuff. And it went nowhere. It literally, I was laughing. And then I finally did a video on it. I did a video on it like the next day because people was like, you got to say something. You got to say something. I even talked to my therapist about it. And what did she, I can't even remember what she said now. But I was really, yeah, because I had my thing with her that same day. Craziness. But it's been so much to this. I forgot what I was even saying with that because it's just funny. Thank you so much, Carolyn Chamberlains. Thank you for doing this great job, Vel. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I appreciate your continued support, friend. And then lastly, we have Anita Lauderdale who says, he sounds like a cult leader. I hope people stop falling for his scams. I pray I don't see him here in Houston. I'm going the other way. You'll probably eventually, especially if you go out to restaurants, because he loves to eat. We can see that. That's why that surgery didn't work. But thank you so much, Anita Lauderdale. I really appreciate you, friend, for your continued support. And with that, thank all of you. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for helping me get the cobwebs off of going live. Patreon family will be talking about that. I'm going live with y'all this week for sure. Like we missed a couple weeks too. So we'll be going live this week as well to really do Vel Unfiltered. That's why I do that at. So again, if you're interested in that, it's in the comment section below. It's in the chat. It's random. Well, you know what? I'm I'm saying it's randomly in there somewhere, but I forgot. It's also in the description area of all of our videos. This one, I'm going to add it after this live, but in all of our videos, the access to our private Facebook group, the text community, and also our Patreon community is also there. And we'll have new merch coming out soon too. I need to update our merch. But with that, I thank all of you for joining me once again. I'm going to send you out with a little commercial. And with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care. And thank you to my moderators. Thank you, everybody on the front end and the back end. Trakisha and Marianne and whoever I might be missing. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little discombobulated, but thank y'all, and I will see y'all next time.
Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vale. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up, because let me tell you something. He probably, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?
Called an attack. When you do the attack, you got to make sure you're real rooted and grounded. Look that way. Make sure you're real rooted and grounded so they don't know what's about to go on. You just attack them. You just attack them. What did I say? I said you better do what I said to do. Did they think you're crazy? If they think you're crazy, they'll just walk away slowly like that.